To get involved, head to efl.org.au. Never miss out on the latest information on the Eastern Football League through the league's social media channels. Live updates, information and scores through the league's Twitter account.
Up the doggies.
Go the Bloods.
Great goal, Devils. Carnivalers.
Tobin Brothers Funerals, serving all supporters in the Eastern Football League since 1934. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Program sponsor.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Division 3 style preliminary final day here on a glorious Sunday afternoon here in Melbourne town. Just quickly, a wrap up in the reserves this afternoon, and it's Templestowe moving into the grand final next weekend against Park Orchards. It's Templestowe defeating Ringwood 13-7-85, defeating Ringwood 5-10-40, a victory by 45 points to the Templestowe Football Club. Well, the game and the scene is set. Both sides are actually on the ground doing their warm-ups. The umpires are doing their bit. And I'm going to hand you over to the call team this afternoon, led not only by BWS but Steve. Good afternoon, my friend.
Thanks, Brash. And you survived the gangs of New York in Manhattan and Brooklyn, or?
I did, mate. I did, mate. But good luck today to you and the call team.
Yeah, looking forward to this one. I mean, I've seen Heathmont probably more than any Div 3 side this year. I saw them against Templestowe about 2 months ago. They're a bit hot and cold. I mean, the season series split 1-1 between these two, but Heathmont has been on the up and up since that win in the last week of the season where they snuck in South Belgrave. So, I mean, heart says Heathmont, the head says Ringwood, though, for me. Yeah,
and joining you in the special comments this afternoon, two of the most experienced men in the EFL team, and they're going to give you some very incisive, they're going to give you the best special comments on the board. Pete Baird and Brett Davidson. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon, Brash again. And Pete, how are we going?
Yeah, good there, Dave. I'm really looking forward to this one, and it should be a ripper contest. And for mine, I think Ringwood have just got too even a side. They're perfectly balanced. They've got the rock stars, but they've got the roadies as well, which is something that's really important. I think they've got that beautiful balance. And Heathmont, they're workmanlike, but I think they'll struggle to get the job done today against this Ringwood side. Yeah, look, I'm probably agreeing with you. I think probably Ringwood have probably got a little bit better all round. I think they're a little bit quicker. That will also play a big part on this ground. Heathmont need their big guns all to fire, and if they do, look, they're really dangerous because they've got some real talent in their side. But I think it's going to come down to what it always does. It's going to come down to the midfield and who can get the ball into their both quite strong forward lines as quickly as they possibly can. And, I'm just looking forward to seeing Trent Farmer and see what he can do. Yep. But I'm also interested to see how Kevin Clark plays on this ground because I know he could tear up this ground as well. So it's a real contrast, but it's certainly something looking forward to. And joining us on the stats is the man that knows all about the stats in the EFL for Choose Tap, Grant Campbell. Good afternoon to you, Grant.
Good afternoon, Brash. Great to be here, and very unusual for finals that we've got first versus fifth, probably reflective of how even Division 3 is this year, and that's fantastic because last year there was a huge chasm. I'm going to go for Ringwood. They did finish on top for a reason, but I think it'll only be 2 goals in it today. I think we're set for a cracker. And before we colour it over to BWS, let's go boundary side to Ray Baird.
Yeah, thanks, boys. Look, it's a beautiful day for football down here. The ground's in perfect condition, and I'm picking Ringwood by 2 goals as well.
Yeah, it's perfect conditions down here, as Ray said. It's about 13 degrees, 14 degrees, around that mark. Sun's out at the moment, so it's a beautiful day. No wind at all, so it should be a cracker. Thanks, gents, and we're just moments away from the start of this one, and it's going to be an absolute rip snorter nonetheless, as Tim Fitzsimons and Ray Baird on the boundary, I should mention.
And, BWS, quick tip from you?
It's a tough one to call, isn't it? Heathmont, they've come into the final series with a bit of form over the last few weeks, but how can you probably go past the Ringwood Football Club? They've been the dominant side. Steve White to take us away for the Division 3 preliminary final.
So bounce down, evaded there, taken by Power. His kick up towards centre half forward, and Heathmont are there in numbers. Davis gets the kick out and towards Kevin Clark. It's smiled there from behind by Burns. Ball in a bit of a log jam, picked up by Atwell. He gets the hands out, looking there for Blythe. And a ball on the deck, biting in there also is Savoury for Heathmont. And it's wrapped up pretty tightly, and we'll have a ball up on the centre wing area far side.
Young Blythe is a little bit underrated at times. He's one of those boys, he plays the wing so well. He just stays out there and accumulates.
So they hit out, looking for the ball there was Rourke. It's moved out to the centre wing, but Ringwood, we've got a free kick held without. It's going the way of Ringwood. And first free kick of the afternoon goes the way of the black and white.
Dylan Svern's got the job on Trent Farmer, as we expected.
So umpire calls play on, and the kick comes in towards centre half forward. Nothing but Heathmont jerseys there. Trying to wheel that one in there was Savoury. Ball goes to the deck, and a foot race ensues. There's a loose footy. Trying to grab that one in was Colombo for Heathmont. It went past him, and Ringwood come away with a footy. Coming up now here to Atwell. His kick now in towards full forward. Plenty of jerseys there. Almost taking the mark. It's moved out now here by Spurrell, but he couldn't get a clean touch out. And Heathmont get the skin of their teeth trying to clear their back 50, and ball still in dispute. In there also is Bowden there for Ringwood, and it's finally rushed through for the minor score. And we will have our first score of the game going towards Ringwood. They are 1 point. They trail lead Heathmont. Yet to score on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, Peter Bett.
Interesting to see Regan Davis, a big job on Paddy Bowden. Bowden taking him deep to the goal square, trying to expose him for the extra 6 or 7 inches of height he's got as well.
So the helmeted man, Davis, played it to himself, then drove it out wide, but the kick was chopped off by Blythe for Ringwood. So almost on the wing position here, but probably still 2 kicks from home. He set sail. It's an absolute monster in towards the forward pocket. The fly there was from Bowden. He had the front spot over the top of him. It goes and knocked over the boundary line and out. Ringwood leading this game by 1 point early in the first term. We've gone 3.5 minutes here as the umpire throws a ball back in once again. Heavily tackled there was Pettigrew. He released the football. English got boot to ball just in the nick of time out towards the wing position. Cairns had the front spot there for Ringwood. He paddled it back to the advantage of his teammate there in Power. They've done all right here, Ringwood, just to get themselves out of danger. Inside forward 50 it goes. At the fall, the ball was nicely done there by Young. Got the handball away. Now the Jets might create a bit of a switch here out at Eastfield Reserve. Over the top it goes. Here's David Sindri on the right boot. Usually clean skills into the middle of the ground. Abarizi got it back. That was okay. Linking up well. Walton got the handball away. He put Young under a fair bit of pressure, but they do have the numbers still streaming through the middle of the ground. They're in trouble. Walton, he had a fresh air shot. He's pinged in a strong tackle by Daniel Atwell, and it'll be the Redbacks right in the middle here at Eastfield Reserve to surge forward again.
So it comes Atwell now winning the free kick, kicks out towards the centre wing on the far side. Oh, dropped what he should have taken there was Burmeister. Incoming, laying the tackle there was Pettigrew for Heathmont. Ends up with the footy, but ends up wrapped up himself, and we'll have a ball up.
That was quite good transitional work from Heathmont, but they just held the ball once too often, didn't they? They should have kicked it a little bit quicker.
Jets put on the afterburners there through the midfield, Davo, but just their disposal weren't quick enough to get the boot to ball.
Heathmont kick is grabbed out of the air there by Greg. He sends it right back to the half-forward line, and a strong mark taken there by Farmer. He turns around, fires it in, looking for the target there in Burns in the forward pocket. The ball evades him and goes over the boundary line. We'll have a boundary throw in.
You can already see the style of Ringwood. They're getting and going straight away, getting it, going long, putting it into the dangerous positions as often as they can.
So played just over 5 minutes here in this first term. In comes the boundary throw, taking it straight out of the air there was Jordanov. He puts one on goal and it hits the post. And just the minor score, almost the first major. That's 2 straight behinds here for Ringwood. They lead Heathmont yet to score on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Be animated by the goal umpire there. I think he was almost cheering that one through. A chance for Heathmont out towards the Rourke direction. He's got the sit front spot. Almost pulled it in with the one arm, but he had Colombo there for support. Handball over the top. That was chopped off, and over the boundary line it goes. Right in front of Joel Caldwell in the Heathmont dugout.
Interesting to hear Paddy Bowden talking in pre-game about the lessons he learned from the Park Orchards game. That's obviously something he's taken on board because it's very Park Orchard style of football. They get and go, move the ball on quickly.
Definitely.
So Nana went up that time. He couldn't get the knockdown. Went after it again. That was okay. The kick forward now by Hendricks. Inside forward. 50 for Heathmont. Fantastic stuff. Abarizi. He had the front spot there and he got down low and took it on the chest. And he'll have the first genuine shot on goal from about 45 metres out, almost directly in front.
That's going to be an interesting contest, Abarizi versus Whack. And well, he's a talented boy. He works really hard, Abarizi. It's not so much his goal-kicking ability. He's a really good body player, and he creates a lot of space for the other. So we'll see if he can convert.
So Ben Abarizi comes in now, crosses the arc, keeps it low and keeps it straight. That's a beautiful kick on goal. The first major on the board to the Heathmont Football Club. They put themselves in front for the first time this afternoon in the Division 3 preliminary final. They lead by 4, 1 straight 6, Ringwood 2 behinds. It's crossed down boundary side to Ray Baird.
Look, Joel Caldwell will be really happy with that. Their first inside 50 entry and they've already scored a goal.
Yeah, that hurts Ringwood because they've probably dominated the first 5 minutes of play here. Weren't able to put a goal on the board. Heathmont take it down there, capitalise straight away. And it's what Heathmont need early in this game to get themselves into the contest against a team that finished on the top of the ladder and put a bit of scoreboard pressure on them.
No, Nana won the tap. English got the kick out of centre, but it was marked brilliantly there by Greig going back with the flight. He kicks this one out wide onto the half-back flank. Mark taken here by Blythe. Plays on quickly, fires this up now here to centre wing. But it's all Ringwood as they move this footy out quickly here through Grierson. Almost tackled there by Pettigrew. Gets a kick up towards the half-forward flank. Couple of players hit the deck. One of them being Brown. This one over on the half-forward flank. Trying to bust through there was Young for Heathmont. Gets the kick out and he finds one numerical less than being savoury. He moves this one out to centre. Well, it was a shocking kick and picked up here by Power for Ringwood. Almost on the centre bounce down area as he kicks this one in short. And he finds a teammate there in Atwell. Atwell now turns around, fires this one in towards full forward. Plenty of jerseys there. Mark almost taken there by Farmer, but has helped over the boundary line in the forward pocket. We'll get a boundary throw in.
Atwell's been good to start off with. He's probably had 3 or 4 good possessions across half-back at the moment.
Interesting to see both teams trying to utilise the corridor and take it through there as well. Very attacking style of footy from both teams.
So Nana going up in the ruck here against Jordanov. Nana wins the tap down, couldn't clear the footy out. It's still on the deck as players barrel in, one of them being Knudsen, and we will have another ball up about 5 metres out from the Ringwood goal.
Inside 50 is currently 8-1 in favour of Ringwood.
So just under 10 minutes played here in this first term. Ball knocked down, trying to bust in there is Jackson. He was met solidly there by Davis, who got to the footy first, and we'll have another ball up. So good crowd in here this afternoon. Beautiful day for footy here out at East Burwood Reserve after a cracking Div 4 grand final yesterday. The tap comes down here from Nana, socket off the ground, trying to whittle that one in there was Knudsen, and well, he's met solid, that was Brad David Knowles, and well, 3-man stack there, and we'll have a ball up just on the 50 inside the Ringwood forward 50.
So a 4-point lead to the Heathmont Football Club. They've had 1 shot on goal for 1 major. Ringwood, the ball's been mostly in their forward arc in this first 10 minutes. A big knock over the top there by Jordan off. It hit the ground level, snap around the body. This might be okay for King, but he just pushed it. He got touched at the wrong stage and just weighted the ball through for another behind to the Redbacks, and that moves them on to 3 behinds for the game. They're halfway there to hit Heathmont's score. They're kicking straight at the moment, 1 straight 6. So it'll be Davis to bring the ball back into play again, this time to the grandstand side. He's going for the big ruckman there in Nana. Over the top there, Jordanoff created the small. Nana out the spills. Little scrambly kick up towards the wing position. It was set up for Tavery, but he couldn't quite trap it, but he'll go after it again. Try and lay a shepherd. It might have gone out of bounds on the full here. Umpire said yes. Cornwell wants to take off to the races with it, but he's going to have to come back and have a ping over the man on the mark.
Decent ping nonetheless, just hit the post.
Yeah, wobbled and hit the point. Let's cross down boundary side to Ray Baird.
Look, Heathmont are very active on the rotations here, but we've had, 12 minutes of football, and Ringwood have only had one interchange.
So Cornwell on the right boot, inside forward, 50, he goes, but standing strong there was Benny Power, who's going to be a big player out today. Kicks out wide, Blythe, it sat up okay for him on the left boot, usually got clean skills. Up towards the wing position now, Ringwood just trying to hit up the targets. Wilkinson, it went over the top of him, nicely trapped by Pettigrew, was happy to see the paint to the boundary line, and over she goes for a boundary throw in, almost on the half forward line for Ringwood. Probably closer to the wing as we have the umpire to bring the ball back in.
They've got to try and stop that transition movement of Ringwood. They're moving it out of defence really nicely at the moment.
So Powell wins the tap down, ball on the deck, but Ringwood come away with it. They're here through Davis. Davis now kicks this one in towards full forward. It's a one-on-one contest. Oh, and Farmer just couldn't drag it in, and it goes out of bounds, and we'll have a boundary throw in.
That's what Patrick Bowden was saying. He wanted players to hit the 50 and go long as they possibly can. Maybe take a few risks, and Davis did that then. Just a bit unlucky that the ball curved away from Farmer at the end.
Farmer looked like he hurt himself there, holding his ribs. So we'll keep an eye on him as Naina wins the tap down. Goes in to do his own rucking, but he gets wrapped up by his opposite number there, Jordanov, and we'll have a ball up.
And Ringwood have set out quite a nice wall there. They've got to be careful, Heathmont, they just don't snap it out.
So in comes the boundary throw, ball on the deck, barreling in there is Naina, and looks like we got a free kick out of that. It's going the way of Heathmont. And I'll take the kick deep in their own forward pocket and try and get out of their own back 50 as the kick comes up now here towards the half-back. Blythe is the only player there for Ringwood, and he takes a pretty comfortable uncontested mark, almost loses his footing going back to kick it, but he gets onto it now. Kicks this one in towards the forward pocket. The target there was Bowden. He takes the mark, and he'll line up from about 50 out on the tightest of angles for Ringwood.
He's dominating that wing, Blythe, and that's something that they've got to have concern of. The good left footer out there and use the ball well. Tough shot this one, but he's an experienced footballer, so you would expect him to, to have a fair crack at this.
So here it comes from about 50 out. The kick is across the face slightly and just to the left, and that's just through for the minor score. Being the story of Ringwood's day so far, 4 straight behinds. They trail Heathmont 1 straight 6 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, about 15 minutes played.
So the Jets, well, they'll be happy they still hold the lead, won't they? The kick goes up. Breezy was there. In fact, it was Hendricks that went up after it. A little bit of argy-bargy kick off the ground there by Davis. Umpires, well, I thought I heard a whistle, but it's play on anyway. And Farmer in the front spot just comes out and goes, "Thank you, mother, for the rabbits," and takes the mark. Easy as you like, only 20 metres out from goal. He's kicked 77 goals for the year so far, has Trent, and he'll go back, and this will be the first major. Lock this one in, Peter Baird.
Yeah, just too strong in that marking contest, and it's a beautiful kick, so watch him finish off.
Comes in now, leans over it. Well, he snuck it in, but he still got the result that was desired. The 2-finger salute goes up, and the lead goes back to the Ringwood Football Club as we cross the 13.5-minute mark of this first term of the Division 3 preliminary final. 1-4-10 is Ringwood, 1 straight 6, Heathmont.
Well, they've dominated the first 10 minutes, really. They've had it in their forward half the whole time, and the thing about Farmer is not only does he move well, and he's good in there, he's so strong as well. That was just pure strength the way he was able to outmuscle then.
So in comes the ruck. Powell wins it down again. Trying to bust through there was Rogg for Heathmont. Couldn't get a clean touch. And the ball in dispute there with about 3-4 players will get a ball up. So 4 points the margin here out at East Burwood Reserve. We get another ball up here. Naina and Power again continue their duel and try to wing the footy there. And that's a throw according to the umpire. Not too high, actually, is the call. And the free kick going the way of Burmeister here for Ringwood. Dead on centre. Now he kicks this one in towards centre, half forward. Plenty of contested mark. Naina with a big fist. Ball goes onto the ground. And, well, another ball up as Naina probably could have taken the mark there, I would say, instead of going for the spoil. But was the tallest player in that contest, but we'll have a ball up. Let's go down to Ray Baird.
Heathmont have to be very, they don't become Farmer conscious. 3 Heathmont players flew with Farmer then, and there was 2 Ringwood players left on the ground.
Well, here comes the kick straight off the ball up, and it's through. Second goal of the game goes the way of Ringwood, and they now extend their lead here over Heathmont. They are 2-4-16. They lead 1 straight 6. Heathmont, let's go back down to Ray Baird.
It was Wilkinson who kicked the goal, boys.
Thanks, Ray. So Wilkinson gets his first for the afternoon. It's the second of the afternoon here for the Ringwood Footy Club, and a 10-point lead here, 15 minutes gone.
And it's in the middle that they're getting beaten at the moment. At the contest, they've got to get stronger at the contest. They've got to get English in there and hitting the ball a bit harder.
Grant Campbell, some stats that matter thanks to Choose Tap. Ringwood seem to be dominating this early part of the first term.
Inside 50s, 12-2 in favour of Ringwood. They've taken 7 intercept marks to 0 and laid 6 forward 50 tackles to 0.
Great stuff there, Soupy, as it comes out now, charging through. Davis got dispossessed of the football. Tommy Rourke was in there as well. He was pinged, but the umpire wasn't going to pay a free kick against him in that instant, so we'll have a restart. Hire throws it up now. Nicely done there by Powell. A little flick over the back. Charging through there was Rourke for Heathmont. Just somehow got boot to ball. A kick out wide has gone the required distance. Couldn't quite take the mark. There was David's injury. Nicely done there by Bowden. Got the handball over, but Davis was there to chop it off for the Jets up towards the half-forward line. Kevy Clark, he wants to get into this game. He had the back spot. Burns paddled it to his advantage. He wants the boundary line, and he's going to get it. And speaking of such, let's cross down to Tim Fitzsimons.
Yeah, we know Heathmont like to use the ball well, move, spread, use their hands, but Ringwood's pressures has been outstanding earlier. They're not allowing them to spread and in turn string some possessions together.
So, not looking for another chance. Jordanoff had the front spot that time for Ringwood, knocked it down, and it's a foot race between Atwell and Knowles, which sees it over the boundary line once again. Right next to the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, it's a 10-point lead to the Ringwood Football Club. 16 plays 6, halfway through this first term. Ringwood, a little kick out of the pack there. It might work out okay. Burns quite couldn't trap it. Charging through there was Sparrow. He got dispossessed of the football into the middle of the ground. A really strong mark, and off to the races there was Wilkinson. A sloppy kick inside forward 50, but it doesn't matter when Paddy Bowden was out in front, and it hit him on the chest, and he'll have another shot on goal, looking for goal number 32 for the season if he can slot this one, Davo.
Yeah, and look, and that was structurally they were excellent then, Ringwood. They had power back in the hole. They enabled the smallest to get around there, and even though it was a missed kick, when you're in front like that, you've got an opportunity to take advantage of it.
So he's had a shot a little bit further out, but he saw how the wind worked last time, and this time he makes no mistake, does the senior coach of the Ringwood Football Club. That's his first of the afternoon, 32 for the season, and they stretch their lead. They are actually dominating at the moment here, the Ringwood Football Club. 7 scoring shots to 1 as we cross over to the 17.5-minute mark of this first term. A very handy 16-point lead. Let's cross down to Tim Fitzsimons' boundary side.
Yeah, you've spoken about how Ringwood have dominated out of the middle, and Brent English was on the bench there for quite an extended period of time. He's back out there now, but they would have liked to probably get him on a couple of minutes earlier.
So Heathmont got the first goal of the game, but they are trailing now as the term expires, as they're trying to get this one out now. Here is Atwell, well tackled there by Knudsen, and as this one comes out, and the kick comes now in towards full forward, and the catcher of Clevy Clark, and he takes the mark inside 50 on about a 25-degree angle. He's going to back himself and go back and have a ping. He was at second in goal scorers to only Trent Farmer in Divi 3 with 58 on the year. And he's looking to make this 59, and a crucial kick here for the Jets to stay within pace of Ringwood.
Must goal.
He's usually a pretty good kick too.
So in it comes, it's a flat kick, not going to make the distance. In there is Abrazizi looking for the mark. It comes out into the pocket, kept in there well by Colombo, or just had too many Ringwood players to deal with, forced over the boundary line, boundary throw-in. So approaching time on here in this first term. Is locked in deep in the Heathmont forward 50, and in comes the tap. It's one down now here by Heathmont. In there looking for the footy is Grierson for Ringwood. Ball's on the deck. In comes Rourke there for Heathmont. Can't do much with it. We'll have another ball up. Ball about 10 metres out in front of the Heathmont goal. Doing the rucking now for Heathmont is Savoury. He won the tap. Looking to bust through was Clark. Couldn't take it. He was off to the goal square if he did. The kick comes out now here to the half-forward flank. Ringwood now trying to kick this one up towards centre wing, where Farmer is one-on-one there with his man Sverns, and he forces it over the line for a boundary throw-in.
Very clever kick there by Burden.
And it was just lazy by the Heathmont players then. They allowed the Ringwood player to lead them to the ball. They set up the wall behind the play really nicely, but were just sitting back on their haunches, and Ringwood just led them to the ball and were able to get out of defence. So
Nana wins the tap down from that boundary throw-in on centre wing, but we'll get a ball up as Knowles was pretty well held there by Atwell. So in comes the ball up. Nana doing battle there with Power. Power won the tap. Ball goes straight back to the deck, and we'll have take 3 in terms of stoppages in the last minute or so.
Grant Campbell, some more stats that matter thanks to Choose Tap.
Ringwood with 17 tackles, Heathmont only 9.
Well, there you go. The ferocity of this game picks up as Young now trying to get through a couple of Ringwood players. Getting a good hands out there was Knowles. His ball went straight to Atwell, who was gang tackled there by 2 Heathmont players, and we'll have yet another ball up. So game of inches here on centre wing in the last couple of minutes. There's Naina now. Powell wins the tap. The ball goes back now there to Knowles. His kick there was smothered partially. Jackson tried to clear it here for Ringwood, but getting it there by foot was Young. His little kick goes in towards the half-forward line. It's tapped down almost. Colombo swoops onto a loose ball. Colombo moves in. He kicks, and he kicks truly. What a goal from Chris Colombo. It's the second of the afternoon for Heathmont. They are now 2 straight 12. They trail Ringwood 3-4-22 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. 22 minutes gone first term.
And that's where his value is. He's one of the few players in their side that's got genuine leg speed. He needs to be able to use it. Now, that was very well read then. But again, it was the work, the hard work, the bullocking work from English, wasn't it? He got the clearance. It was a messy one, but you put it down in dangerous positions, and your forwards are always a chance.
Some worrying signs there, though, Dave. He's grabbing at that left hamstring after that passage of play, so hopefully it's just a little bit of a cramp or a twinge, but don't want to see anything happen like that.
I think he's been grabbing that hamstring for about 8 years.
As it comes out now, and it was English that got from the stoppage, speak of the devil, as it goes out wide. Nicely trapped there by Callan, he kept the ball alive for Ringwood. The painted right arm, he goes inside forward 50. He's looking for Farmer, a big fly over the back there. That was okay. A spoiler, stab around the body by Bowden. Has it got the legs? No, Bowden was in there. The goal square, he takes the mark and puts it through. Fantastic stuff. It was burst to Bowden, and Bowden the quick reply for the Ringwood Football Club, and they stretch their lead out to 16 points once again.
And there's the danger. The danger is that you've got the two big forwards working well in tandem, and their smalls are working extremely well on the ground. King, of all the players probably in the competition in third division at the moment, he's the one you kind of like want a bit of success for. He's been the captain of the club. He's been through the hard times with them. Now it's a bit of a sunset time for him, but he's certainly a very, very valuable footballer.
Callanan did well there to keep that ball in on the boundary line as here comes the centre bounce. And one there by Power, trying to tap this one out. No one can really get hold of the footy as Atwell laid a pretty good tackle, and we'll have another ball up. So Knowles there doing the roving here for Heathmont, active so far. Naina wins the tap down, but Atwell tried to kick this one out of centre. It's grabbed now here by Sindri for Heathmont, and his kick in towards the direction of Savoury. Couldn't take the mark, but got the ball on the deck. Trying to get the hand pass out there, hit a Kevy Clark. And Ringwood are going to get out now here through Blythe. A kick up towards centre wing. Coming over the top there was Knowles as the ball goes out now here to Ringwood and gathered in here by Zach Callanan. His kick now in towards centre half forward. Contested footy. Almost taking the mark there was Farmer, but Heathmont come away with it. A loose handball in the direction of Regan Davis. Can't pick it up off the deck. He's met solidly there by Atwell and by Bowden, and we'll have a ball up just inside the centre square.
He needed to do better than Davis. I know it was difficult, but he needed to put his body on the line and really hit that contest a bit harder.
Throws it up. Power got his palm on it. That was okay. Davis for Heathmont. Handball out wide. It might be trapped off here from Blythe. He's had a good quarter, Blythe. Inside forward 50. Slams it on his boot. It's going right towards the pocket. Farmer crunched the pack. Goes after it again. He fell over at the crucial stage. Spurns was there to just push him off the football, and Heathmont get the clearing kick out wide where Savoury gets down low and takes the mark. He wants to take off too. That was good play. Davis is in the middle. Had to get the quick handball off. That was also okay to Sindri, who was pinged in a tackle. Fantastic stuff by Jackson. That's a textbook tackle there, and he doesn't want to waste any time either. At the back of the square, a scrambling kick out wide, but they do have the numbers, the Ringwood Football Club. Quick handball comes out to McCann on the right boot, up towards the half-forward line, just keeps it inside the paint, and over she goes for a boundary throw-in. 60 metres out from the Ringwood goal line. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast. 98.1 Radio Eastern and streaming live around the globe. EFL.org.au. It's a 16-point lead to the Redbacks in this preliminary final today. A little toe poke by English, who was going against the play there. He wanted the safety of the boundary line. Wilkinson was there for Ringwood. He sees it over and will have a boundary throw in.
They are certainly rotating a fair bit, Ringwood. I can see them coming on and off the whole time. So that's, really good structural work by them.
As Jordanov, won that down out of the ruck. It's locked in there pretty hard, and going to get straight out there was Wilkinson. He puts it on goal, and he puts it through. Contender for Fibro goal of the day. It is 4-4-32 here to the... my maths is wrong there. 5-4-34. They lead Heathmont 2 straight 12 with 25 minutes gone here on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
And that's again a small, isn't it? They're smalls at work on the ground, getting the quick kicks away. Really important.
2 goals to...
it was Tim Wackler, I think that was on that, wasn't it? I believe, or Wilkinson. Wilkinson was there. Sorry, my bad. Let's go down to Ray Baird. He'll have it. Yeah, got it right. Thanks. Thanks, BWS.
You were spot on. I was just trying to say Joey Wilkinson's kicked 2 goals in the opening term, mate. As it comes out now, they charge forward again. Here's Callanan just outside the 50. Bouncy football. This might go all the way. Just trickling towards the behind. Jared Sparrow was just happy to give that a little nudge and force that one behind. They are peppering 10 scoring shots to 2. The Ringwood Football Club. They lead this game by a very handy lead, 35-12. As we're getting towards the latter stages of this first term in the Division 3 preliminary final, as the ball's been brought out by the Sheriff. Kicks out towards the Nana direction. It was knocked away from him. Little topo from Davis from Ringwood came out. He's Bowden on the left boot inside forward 50, and it was a good kick too. It only just travelled the required distance, but Mitch Burden was in the front spot and he takes it on the chest.
I tell you what, Callanan's been good in the middle, hasn't he? His pace out of the middle's been great, and again, another small forward here. Brereton generally, I don't put the moz on him. I did last year in the final when he missed that crucial goal, but he's certainly one of the best kicks in the competition, and we'll see what he can do this time.
So Brereton comes in. He's kicked 15 goals for the year. Can he make a 16? It would be an important one, and it certainly is. That was gun barrel straight over the goal umpire's head. And well, I tell you what, we haven't even hit quarter time yet, but Ringwood are making a statement, Peter Baird. 6-5-41, Heathmont 2 straight 12.
They are, and when you consider they didn't kick their first goal till the 14-minute mark of the quarter, they've basically kicked 6 goals now in 10 minutes of football. So the floodgates are really opened after Heathmont were able to contain them early on for the first 13 minutes.
And the difference is, I think they've had 4 goal kickers from their forwards. So all their forwards are contributing, and if they're not kicking them, they're giving them off. So that's where the Heathmont players have got to really settle down and lock down as much as they can.
It'll be interesting to see what Joel Corwell has to say to his troops at quarter time. Is trying to chase a loose footy here is English for Heathmont. Hands out there here to Hendricks, and Heathmont started out now here through Davis. His kick in towards centre half forward. Knowles is there for Heathmont. Nice spoil from behind Abrazizi. Couldn't make the mark. Nice tackle there by Colombo. Clark dives in there for Heathmont. Can't take a loose footy, and Ringwood did well to bust this one out of their own back line there through Burns. The kick up now here by Atwell, and it's all Ringwood coming forward. Here's Brereton, shakes the tackle. Brereton looking, spotting Farmer in the corner, and he's picked him up. Excuse me, that's Burmeister, and in the forward pocket, it is all Ringwood here late in the term, and as he said, they've kicked 6, and this will possibly be 7.
2 goals apiece, 2 straight 12 in the Division 1 final out today between Baldwin and Blackburn at quarter time. We'll keep you right across that scoreline throughout the afternoon.
So Burmeister going to line up from 50, tightest of angles, but possibly Ringwood 7th. The kick is just to the left, put the moz on him, and just the minors score. So they lead, extend their lead here over Heathmont, 6-6-42. They lead Heathmont 2 straight 12, deep into time on. Let's go down to Ray Baird boundary side.
Yeah, look, Brent English, I believe he is in trouble, boys. He's just come off the ground. He didn't look really good. He ran off the ground, but I think he has that hamstring problem.
Thanks, Ray. Big loss there for Heathmont if that continues.
Oh, it's more than a big loss.
Yeah, just understatement of the year as the kick comes out now here to the half-forward line. And it's all Ringwood again. Good mark taken there by Grieg, and he's going to fire it right back in to the Heathmont forward line, and in comes the kick. Plenty of players there. Contested footy. Oh, what a mark! Farmer. Easy as you like. And it's a shooting gallery out there at the moment for Ringwood. And they're going to line up from about 45 out, almost directly in front. Farmer looking for his 2nd of the afternoon.
Now that is just class. That was just class what he did then. His ability, he came from 3 or 4 back, worked his way to the front. Great mark.
So here's the kick from Farmer. It is dead accurate, straight through the middle, and that's the 7th goal of the afternoon for Ringwood. 7-6-48. They lead Heathmont 2 straight 12 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. 26 minutes played.
And while they're losing in their forward 6 are certainly dominating, is around the ball. They've got to get better around the ball, Heathmont at the moment. They're just allowing too many players to get easy kicks and clean kicks out of their midfield, and that just opens it up for those forwards. So they've just got to tighten up in that midfield.
Well, what a powerful performance by the Ringwood Football Club today. in this first term, and there's still chance for another one for him as Benny Powell goes up. The ball hits the deck. The big man Naina went down. We'll have another bounce. Restart here in the middle of Eastfield Reserve. Power got the knockdown into the arms there of Atwell. He couldn't quite trap it. Goes after it again. What a great second effort that was. Charging through was Davis, though, for the Jets. The helmeted man got the handball away. Cornwell up towards the half-forward line. Savoury was out-muscled. Cairns got the quick kick away. That was okay. Blythe on the left boot just sends it out wide. He was looking for his teammate there in Callanan, who couldn't quite trap it. Davis came in over the top for the Jets. Then he was gang-tackled by Blythe and Callanan, and the umpire says, "Give it to me, boys." We'll have a bounce right in front of the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. A 36-point lead to the Ringwood Football Club. We didn't expect this sort of a margin so early in the piece. Grierson hits the deck, and we'll hand it back to the umpire for a restart just outside the centre square here, far side of Eastfield Reserve. As the siren sounds to announce quarter time. And the Ringwood fans certainly go up. They're impressed what their boys have brought out onto the park today. 7-6-48. Ringwood, they lead by 36 points. Heathmont, 2 straight 12. 13 scoring shots to 2 in the opening turn. The major goal kickers on the ground. There's 2 each to Trent Farmer, Patrick Bowden and Joey Wilkinson. Well, the rest are singles. And, of course, Heathmont, their 2 goals have come from Abrizi and Chris Colombo. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast on 98.1 Radio Eastern and streaming live around the globe on efl.org.au. Well, we're a quarter of the way through this match and a very healthy lead to the Ringwood Football Club. Can Heathmont answer the challenge? Only time will tell. We'll have a few messages and come back with those around-the-ground scores from the Division 1 clutch day between Blackburn and Borwood.
Go Zebras! Calm the Dockers.
Calm the Eagles.
Up the Bulls.
Tobin Brothers Funerals, serving all supporters in the Eastern Football League since 1934. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Program sponsor.
A new time and a new team, driving you home in 2016. Join a brand new lineup for The Huddle as the gang take a light-hearted look at the Eastern Football League every Friday night. More importantly, the team will reveal the ins and outs for this week's round of matches. The Huddle, 4:30 to 6:30 every Friday evening as you love it local. EFL.org.au is the place to be online for all the latest on the Eastern Football League. Keep up to date by checking out the latest news and feature articles. Have your say in the EFL poll. Check out all the latest EFL videos, and best of all, you can listen back to any EFL radio program at any time. Head to efl.org.au. The Eastern Football League. Local footy at its best. Never miss out on the latest information on the Eastern Football League through the league's social media channels. Live updates, information and scores through the league's Twitter account.
How would you like to be celebrated?
I think a barbie in the backyard would be nice.
I would go to the beach.
Possibly a costume party.
It sounds silly, but I'd like people to bring their pets.
I'd have a karaoke machine. What's coming to my head is an ice sculpture.
Lots of cakes.
Cheesecake.
Lemon meringue pie.
And probably every flavour of ice cream ever.
At Tobin Brothers Funerals, they know that every life is unique and they think that every celebration should be too. Find out more at tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Program
EFL Saturday Game Day continues. Let's head back and go local for your footy.
Welcome back to Eastfield Reserve and Ringwood at quarter time, lead by 36 points. It's Ringwood 7-6-48, leading Heathmont 2 goals 12. Goal kickers for Ringwood 2 each to Farmer, Bowden and Wilkinson, and singles to Brereton, whilst for Heathmont, Abruzzi and Colombo are the goal kickers. And with all the stats that matter from Choose Tap, and there's some interesting stats of that, it's over to you, Grant Campbell.
Well, there's only surprising ones. Heathmont's winning the clearances 13-12. Everything else, domination by Ringwood. They won the inside 50s 21-6. They didn't kick a goal with their first 10 entries, and then they've kicked 7 goals in their last 11. They've taken 7 marks inside 50 to 2, and from those 7 marks inside 50, they've kicked 5 goals too. Ringwood with 8 intercept marks to 0. They're winning the contested ball by 9 and uncontested possessions by 4, yet they're still winning the tackle count 24-14, including 6-2 inside 50. And the really interesting one, Ringwood have had 60 kicks and only 12 handballs, so really focusing on kicking the ball. In uncontested situations, they've had 31 disposals. 30 times they've kicked it and only once they've handballed it. So clearly they've got a direction to kick the ball and put that Heathmont defence under pressure.
Well, it's one of these things, and thank you for those stats, Grant Campbell. They quite telling stats, Brett Davidson, because Ringwood are basically controlling this game from about the 10-minute mark of the first quarter.
Well, if you're going to put the ball inside your forward 50 21 times in a quarter, and you're going to do it the way they did, which was with speed. They didn't. Every time they marked, they didn't go back and stop. They just continued to roll on each time, get it in there as quickly as they possibly could. And you'll notice when the ball didn't hit a player's hands and take a mark, it hit the ground, and they were ferocious at the ground. They managed to work really hard in that area. Whereas every time Heathmont got it, they were under pressure. Their kicking forward was just haphazard. They weren't able to settle at all. They weren't able to be clean at all. And really, you look at it at the moment, and it's hard to see how Heathmont are going to get back into this game.
Brett, the one thing I noticed, the centre line of Ringwood, Atwell, Callanan, and Jack Blythe on that far wing. They are absolutely cutting Ringwood apart.
No,
Heathmont apart.
They're nearly the three best players on the ground.
Unbelievable, isn't it, at this stage?
And look, on a ground like this, if you and they've worked them beautifully. You've got Atwell, who's been able to push towards the centre half back area. Blythe plays that wing to perfection, and Callanan's speed through the middle has been exceptional. They need to just lock down for the moment. They've just got to stop the momentum at the moment, Heathmont, if they can, because if they allow Ringwood to come out now and kick one or two, they'll look at the scoreboard and go, this is a bit too hard.
Yeah. The other thing, a couple of noticeable things for me in that quarter, Steve, was a couple of incidents for Heathmont where they had 3 or 5. Let's go boundary side, down to Ray Baird, or Tim.
Obviously, still 3 quarters to go, but you got a handy lead. What was the message there at quarter time?
Just don't let up, keep the pressure around the footy and tackle the man with the ball.
Cheers for your time.
Tim Fitzsimon's there on the boundary side. The play's just about ready to get back underway. I'll hand it back over to you, Steve White.
Thanks, Brash. And well, as you mentioned, a tall order here for Heathmont so early in the game. Let's go down to Ray Baird quickly before the centre bounce.
Yeah, Joel said he wanted more controlled numbers around the stoppages. He wants them to slow Ringwood's play down. So when Ringwood take a mark, to be wary of the players running past. He said, well, look at the scoreboard. When we get into our forward zone, we can score. So he's expecting a big effort from his boys.
Thanks, Ray. And Kevy Clark off the score sheet so far for Heathmont. It's got to get into the game if they're going to have a chance. Talked about 58 goals on the year, yet to score one here this afternoon. Powell wins the tap. Here's Callanan. Been good so far here for Ringwood. He was tackled strongly. Kick there from Davis in towards centre half forward. Flying up there for Heathmont. Well, couldn't take the mark. Brereton manages to come down with a loose foot. He turns and kicks in the direction of Bowden in the forward pocket. The ball evades him and Regan Davis and goes over for a boundary throw-in.
What I like about the way they played, they knew exactly when he got the ball there, and he knew turn, put it into the pocket, there'll be someone there. That's really good structures.
Boundary throw-in comes in. Naina out-duelled there by Jordanov. Ball swatted out of mid-air. In the footy there is Callanan. He got brought to ground. He gets the hand pass out now, trying to swoop onto it. Here is Jackson for Ringwood. His errant hand pass goes only as far there as Young for Heathmont. Heathmont hemmed in here in their own 50. Can't get the ball out. Appeals for holding the ball, and it's given. Strong tackle applied there by Jordanov, and he's won himself a free kick directly in front, about 45 metres out.
And that's what you want out of your forwards. You want your forwards to work hard. You want your forwards to block the ball in, and he's worked really hard to get that free kick, and if he puts it on the scoreboard, it's a perfect start for Ringwood.
He's going to add another 100 metres to the mountain in terms of a climb here for Heathmont if Ringwood goal. Oh, this one, Jordanov line up looking for his first of the afternoon from about 45 out, directly in front. In comes the kick. Well, he sprayed it directly to the left, and it goes all the way over left, touched over the boundary line, boundary throw it. So Heathmont get off the hook there, and they've got to get out of their back 50. This is not where Joel Caldwell would want them to be at all so early here in the second term. In comes the boundary throw. Naina and Jordana to do the rucking. Jordana flies over the top, and he's going to fist it through for the minor score. So the first score of the term goes the way of the Ringwood Footy Club, and they just get the one behind. 7-7-49. They lead Heathmont 2 straight 12. We've gone 3 minutes played here, second term Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
So it'll be Davis to bring the ball back in. Plays it to himself, uses the grandstand side. Bruce at every bit of 70 metres there. Breezy's come a long way out from goal, got the handball away. It was chopped off nicely though by Bowden. That was good play. Callanan was in there too. But equally up to the task was Walton. Got it away to English. He's okay on the left boot up towards the Kevy Clark direction. He knocked it forward, then goes after it again, wins his own football. That was fantastic play. Equal to the task, though, with Cairns with a strong tackle for Ringwood. And there's a ball up about 70 metres out from the Heathmont goal line.
But he was 1 on 4. 1 on 4. Where were the other forwards to help him out then?
Yeah, it beggars belief sometimes, doesn't it, as it comes that quick kick there by Collier. That was okay. It was a percentage kick and it worked out well for them. Jordanoff, he just overran the football, but Brereton was there to mop up the pieces, then slams it inside forward 50. Maybe a little bit of holding there on Bowden. He screamed for the free kick. It was actually there. The umpire missed it, and it's gone through for a behind, knocked through. So Heathmont fans, they'll breathe a sigh of relief once again, but Ringwood dominating the play at the moment, 7-8-50 to 2 straight goals, 12, as Davis brings the ball back into the middle of the ground. Over the top of all players, they'll get another chance here, Ringwood, potentially, but Rourke got the handball over the top. Now here's English, who want to switch inside and use the left. Instead, he goes back to Rourke on the right boot, up towards the half-forward line where Clark takes it. He's still 2 kicks from goal, inside forward 50. Here he goes, he needed to hit the target, and he did just that. Ryan Young came out and took it. He'll have to kick it from just outside the 50, but it's important he goes back and tries to slot this. It's crossed down boundary side to Ray Baird.
Very clever play by Kevin Clark. Then he come forward, he turned around, he ran full pace towards the goal. His opponent took off and then he just doubled back. Very clever.
So Ryan Young, well, he's almost directly in front. If he's confident that he can kick the distance, this one should go through, and it does just that. It snuck in at the last moment. Fantastic kick there, and Heathmont get the goal that they've been searching for, and they've been kicking straight, and that's in their favour. 3 straight 18, but they trail Ringwood 7-8-50, a margin of 32 points, Davo.
And that was all through the combination of Rourke and English, who are both experienced players for them. English has so far been involved in every play that they've been able to get out of defence so far, so he's just a key. They've just got to get the ball into his hands as often as they possibly can.
Blackburn leading Baldwin by 8 points, 8 minutes into the second term.
So here comes the ball up. Dana wins the tap down. It goes onto the deck. Young, who just kicked the last one, got a kick forward. English trying to swoop onto a loose footy here at half forward here for Heathmont. His hands finds Hendricks, but he couldn't get an effective handball out. Picked up out of midair there by Collier. Got brought to ground. Young's in there again for Heathmont. Loose footy. No one can swoop on it. Knowles gets tackled there, trying to get the handball out. And Ringwood trying to get a nice tackle there by Young. And he holds it there to the chest of Atwell. And we'll get a ball up dead on centre half forward. Directly in front now here for Heathmont. So 7-8-50 plays 3 straight 18 as the tap comes down there from Power. The kick,
nice
clearing kick out of defence there by Ringwood. It comes back out now in towards the centre square, and it's all Heathmont. Here's Spurrell now. His kick goes in towards centre half forward. Plenty of players flying, but straight out of the chest of Kevin Clark at the back of the pack, and he takes the mark. 45 out directly in front.
And this is exactly the way that Ringwood played the first quarter. They got the ball in there really quickly with look, that time they weren't under as much pressure with their kick. And, Clark's just a clever footballer.
It's a definition of being a clever footballer. They're just sitting off and saying, will it carry?
So here's the kick from Clark, and it is true, straight through the middle. That's 2 straight now this afternoon here for Heathmont in this second term. They are 4 straight 24. They lead Ringwood 7-8-50, and that's his 59th goal of the season for Kevin Clark. He waited a while to get on the score sheet, but he has done now at a crucial juncture of the game, gentlemen.
Something Heathmont have changed up this quarter, Davo, is that they're not trying to beat Ringwood in close around stoppages. They're trying to tap the ball clear of the stoppage and let it run into space. And that's actually working for them in the last 5 or 6 minutes. Ringwood have actually beaten them at the coalface when the ball's been in tight. When the ball's clear of that the pack shooing around stoppages, Heathmont are starting to get a little bit of ascendancy in that situation.
Throws the ball aloft. It'll be Power versus Naina. A big fly that time by Naina. A fresh air shot, so Power got a quick toe poke on the football. Going after it, there was Knudsen. He couldn't take it. Out it comes now to Walton on the right boot, up towards the half-forward line. Got a handle on it. There was Greg. Kevy Clark came in to had some support. Spurns was there, got the handball away. Quick kick inside forward 50. It might go the way of English. He's on the left. English can put through a goal, and Heathmont are well and truly back into this game. Brent English, he's the star of the side, and he's up and about, and so are the Heathmont Football Club. They are kicking very straight. Margin back to only 20 points. The Jets 5 straight 30. They're still trailing though. Ringwood 7-8-50. Let's cross down to Tim Fitzsimon's boundary side.
Yeah, I don't think it's any surprise at how Heathmont have lifted in this quarter, because English and Clark are really starting to get on top. They're probably their two most important players, and they're getting it done for them at the moment.
That was just a class finish, Davo, from Brett English. A real contender for the Vibro goal of the day there.
Oh, look, when he's going, he's a very hard man to stop. I can't believe Naina. I think he's misread the ruck tap out 5 or 6 times. He's just got to get his run right. I know he's up against a tall player, but he's missed it by a mile every time. It's a bit better.
That was a bit better there from Naino. He wins his own tap down too, gets his hand pass out, picked up by Jackson for Ringwood. He gets wrapped up as he got a hand pass away. In comes Hendricks. Now here for Heathmont. His kick was smothered off the boot, picked up now here by Power. A kick up towards the centre wing area. Jordanov's in there versus Clark Davis. He did well to win the footy and get the kick up now here towards the half-back flank. As far as Heathmont are concerned, Clark in a foot race gets pushed, perhaps in the back, but no, says the umpire, and we'll get a boundary throw in.
The Ringwood player down there in the centre of the ground looks in a really bad way, hasn't moved at all. I'm starting to get up to his feet now, but doesn't look in a good way at all.
We'll get some details boundary side in a moment. As the ball trying to burst through there again was Knowles for Heathmont. He's pretty well gift wrapped, and we'll have a ball up.
Looks like Mitch Jackson.
Yeah, look, took a pretty... He got collected as he got the handball away, as the tap comes down there from Naina. On the deck now here at Ringwood, smothered off the boot there by Abrazizi. The kick in towards the goal square, and it was just to the right. I think that was English with another shot. Jono Knudsen, thanks very much. And
Knudsen.
Knudsen. Someone's trolling me.
Hashtag just saying.
5-1-31 to Heathmont.
I've written it phonetically for everybody.
They trail Ringwood 7-8-50. Shades of Di Stefano last week as the kick comes in towards our forward line. It's taken here by Rourke for Heathmont. 50 metres out. The kick comes in and it's just to the left, and another minor score. 5-2-32 for Heathmont. 2 points in about as many kicks. They trail 7-8-50 Ringwood. And let's go down to Ray Baird boundary side.
I tell you what, in this quarter, the Heathmont faithful, they really put some noise down here.
Must have his hearing aids on to hear it.
Player just asking Ringwood to move the ball on as they bring the ball back in. And it was a strong mark taken out by Farmer, who's worked himself well and truly into the back line across the defensive arc for Ringwood. Short passes on, that is barely travelled the required distance, but nonetheless the umpires paid it. They switch the play and they'll use the grandstand side here because they do have the numbers. McCann waiting out wide, that's Anthony, and his kick was an absolute shocker off the boot, right in front of the Heathmont bench, who saluted that one.
Really marked by Tim Fodia, that one.
Oh, who's Tim Fodia? There's Matt Fodia and Tim Fitzsimons, mate. As it comes out now, Knudsen goes up towards the half-forward line.
That's his maiden name.
Lockie Ferns in the Jesus-like headband. Sets the ball inside forward 50. A breeze goes up. He couldn't quite pull the mark down. Savory at the bottom of the pack. Swings around on the left. Kicks it across the face of goal. It's a bouncing football. Which way will it go? Heathmont will be hoping that it trickles over. Eventually it did a Shane Wand wrong and into the behind post. And over the boundary line she goes. Grant Campbell, some stats that matter thanks to Choose Tap.
Inside 50s this quarter, 8-2 in favour of Heathmont. English with 4 disposals for the quarter, 13 for the match.
Power and Savory. Power had the front spot. Knudsen was in there. Couldn't quite trap it. Nicely done there by Macklin for Ringwood. Kicked the ball out wide. Overrunning the football there was Jordanoff, and now it's another chance for the Jets to go forward. Inside they go. A big fly though in the front spot from Nathan Cant. That was an absolute ripper mark, and now they do have some numbers out wide. He kicks it out towards the half back line. It's a bouncing football. Who's going to win this race? And a short pass is on where McCann takes a mark. He wants to handball it off. It's the old 1-2 up towards the half forward line. It's a 2-on-1 situation. Davis got the spoil. charging in there. Alistair Knutson got it away to Rourke. Handball in wide. Now it comes into the arms there of Jono Knutson. Had a bounce on the right boot. He goes inside ball 50 looking for Clark. He had the front spot. Callanan overran the football. Over the top of it there was Knowles. He got picked up and wrapped up like a present, and we'll have a bounce about centre-half forward for the Heathmont Football Club. They are peppering at the moment, only trailing by 3 goals. It's game on. It's exactly what we're after here. Naina got the knockdown, but a clearance to Ringwood. The kick goes out wide. Who's going to lead this foot race? It comes out towards Brereton. Will he keep the ball alive for the Redbacks? He does. Then he sends it up towards the half-forward line. Jordan Off was a big flyer. It was knocked over the top of him. Sparrow was there. Farmer copped one in the back. The umpire said play on. Nicely done there, though, by Sparrow. Handball over the top. Found Knutson of the Alistair variety. Goes back towards Gerald Sparrow. He keeps the ball alive. That was great play. Handball over the top. They're still doing all right. Here's Tommy Rourke. He's had a fair bit of the football on the right boot. Will he keep it alive? He will. He kicks it inside forward 50, and over she goes for a boundary throw-in.
That was great work from Heathmont to keep that ball alive, particularly there from Sparrow. As we have a boundary throw-in inside the forward 50 now here for Heathmont. About 12 minutes played here in the second term. Winning the tap down there was Power again for Ringwood. Trying to get on the footy there was English, but he's got the tackler there to shake Ian Grieg. And let's go boundary side here to Tim Fitzsimons. Thanks, Tim, as the ball comes back on the centre-half forward line. Trying to get it out there was Burmeister for Ringwood, but no one can affect anything. We'll have a ball up.
They just can't get the ball out and spread at the moment, Ringwood, and that's been a good effort from Heathmont to lock it down.
As Savoury won the tap, but Ringwood won the footy. The ball comes out. Nice mark taken there by Jared Sparrow here on centre wing for Heathmont. Elects to play on, puts the kick right back in towards the full forward line. Plenty of flyers. Oh, great mark taken over the back there by Cairns. And, well... 2 in a row for him. Yeah. So Kevin Clark thought it was play on.
Just a quick score update from Balwyn versus Blackburn, and it's the Burners leading by 9 points, 17 minutes into the second term.
Well, Gus McLeod won't be able to contain himself as in comes the kick in towards centre half back now here. As Heathmont, though, it's all Heathmont. But Sparrow one did well to win the footy. Kicks in towards the direction of full forward, and a great mark taken there by Knowles. And we're going to have a direct shot, a stretch shot straight in front here for David Knowles, and a chance to make it the 6th goal of the afternoon here for Heathmont. Let's go down to Ray Baird.
Play by Jared Sparrow then. Look, he's had a lot of the ball in the last 5 minutes, but just on that occasion, he could have blazed away, but no, a little chip kick to his left.
So here comes Knowles on the right boot, and he's put it to the right, and not the result Heathmont were looking for. Just the minor score, 5-3-33. They trail Ringwood 7-8-50, 15 minutes gone, second term. Peter Baird.
I really need to capitalise on those.
Yeah, the momentum swayed their way. They've got to put those ones through.
That was very poor. Like, missed it by a long way.
Kick goes out wide, a big fly over the top there by Collier, couldn't take the mark. The Jets have the numbers at the back. The handball goes in towards the middle where Sindri had it. They're going backwards to go forward. Now it's in the arms of Davis on the right boot up towards the half forward line. Couldn't quite trap it. Was Collier for the Redbacks. It came out the back though. That was okay by Whack up towards the half to the middle of the ground where he'll go after it again. Owned his own football. In the middle they go. Breaking the shackle there was Jackson, and then he got pinged again. Yelgonski. The umpire said play on. You've got to give advantage there. Sindri was going into the direction of Clark, but he's going to call it back.
It probably ended up being all right because there's a pretty ordinary kick into the forward line then. So, but I mean, they should have called it on.
I'd say it's really interesting to see Heathmont's tackling pressure increase. I'd be interested if you got a stat on that, Grant Campbell.
They're actually trailing the tackles this quarter 10-7, but
Walton kicked it into the middle where Sparrow just coughed it up in the end. Farmer came in and might have thrown it away. The umpire said
Dusty Martin too high.
Oh, was it a high tackle in the end, was it? So
don't argue.
Jack Cornwell, so the painted right side of his body, kicks it up towards, well, it's almost on the half-forward line. He's spotted up his teammate there in Ryan Young, and they're just happy just to slow things down. Goes back to Davis. Davis might have a ping from here. Davis goes for goal, and he slams it through. I reckon it's got the legs. That's the vibro goal at A so far in this match, and Heathmont are coming 16 minutes into this second term of the Division 3 Grand Final. It's excitement plus out here at East Belwood, 39-50. It's only an 11-point margin. Let's cross down boundary side to Ray Baird.
What's really noticeable this quarter is the pressure that Heathmont are putting around on the person with the ball. But look, not only that, their confidence is lifted.
And there are 3 names we haven't called this quarter, and they are Atwell, Blythe and Callanan. And they were the 3 stars in the first quarter.
Absolutely. For Ringwood. As Power wins the tap down now, in comes but Ringwood through Davis, lost the footy in a pretty strong tackle. Trying to win it there was Brown as well for Ringwood, but it's all Heathmont here as Knudsen moves this one up towards the half-forward line. Good mark taken there by Abraziz, and he'll go back from about 55 out, 65 out indeed. Does Alexa go by handball instead, gets it over the top, and that handball there to went over there to Sindri. It's moved out now here by Heathmont in towards the full forward line. Plenty of players there. One of them is Savoury, but a better mark taken here by Ringwood as the ball moved out now here to Cairns. Cairns now in his own back pocket, kicks it up towards half forward. Nice spoil there by Pettigrew for Heathmont. Trying to win the footy, went off his foot, but not on the full. We'll get a boundary throw in.
What a challenge that's been answered by Heathmont in this second term.
Oh, it's been fantastic, because we all admitted at quarter time that the game was very much slipping away from Heathmont, and they've got their way right back into it.
Yeah, I thought Casey Donovan was singing in the background there for a while as the ball comes back into play. Right in front of the Heathmont dugout.
You remind me, I've got to go and do the shopping later too, so just thank you for that.
Comes in now at the bottom of the pack there, King. He was almost caught high, you would have thought, from Tommy Rourke, but the umpire was blindsided to that, and the hand might have been over the shoulder. It wasn't too bad as Naina goes up that time there against Power. It was probably even Steven in that one. Right on there by Jackson. Released the football. Here's Wilkinson for Ringwood. Here's a go for them inside forward 50. Which way's this one going to bounce? Couldn't quite trap the ball there was Ferns. He let himself down. Farmer snap around the body, but he was pushed as he kicked it and out of bounds on the full. It goes. Good pressure there from the Heathmont backs. Well done, Dylan Ferns, to make up for missing that football only moments before. Out of bounds on the full it is, and the ball to be brought back in. 18 and a half minutes gone, and it's an 11-point lead to the Ringwood Football Club. 7-8-50 to 6-3-39. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast on 98.1 Radio Eastern and streaming live around the globe on efl.org.au. I've just found out that my horse was an absolute hack today, so out to the paddock it goes for Atlantic Edge. I'm glad I told you boys not to back it.
You have to tell your mortgagee the same story as this one. Moved out now here to Brown here for Ringwood, and he takes the mark here for the half-back flank. Ringwood pumped this one back in towards the forward line and taken there by Atwell. Right inside the 50, turns and plays on quickly in the direction of Bowden, and he takes it inside the forward pocket. A rare inside 50 here for Ringwood in this second term.
One of the toughest spots on the ground to kick a goal. Grant Soupy Campbell, some stats that matter.
Inside 50s, 15-4 this quarter. Ringwood with the last couple, and that was Atwell's first disposal this quarter after having 7 in the first.
Well, there you go. Bowden on the tightest of angles, 45 out. Chance to get a score here for Ringwood and try and snuff out this Heathmont momentum. Here comes the kick. It's to the left and just the minor score. 7-9-51. They lead Heathmont 6-3-39 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. 20 minutes played. We're into time on here in the second term. So to bring the footy back in is Pettigrew here for Heathmont. And, not much on offer except maybe Dylan Ferns there in the the back pocket. So he decides to go long out towards centre half back line. Brazizi's there's the flyer, but the ball comes down on the deck here to Collier. He's wrapped up solidly.
He dropped that.
Busting through there was Grierson for Heathmont. Kick out to a vacant centre wing. Cairns is back there for Ringwood. He takes a bouncing footy, centres the footy now in towards centre half back, and the mark taken there by Bowden. He's worked his way all the way back into the centre half back line after taking that last shot. Atwell takes the mark now here in the centre square for Ringwood. Quickly plays on and tries to find his teammate Jackson, who takes the mark and plays on himself. Kicks it in towards the half-back line. The flyer there, and a great mark taken by Stephen Brown. And he's about 60 away from goal. He punts this one right in towards the forward line. Farmer's there, but the spoiler's there as well, and it goes over the boundary line for a boundary throw-in.
I like the way Bowden and Farmer both do that. They both drift back every now and again just to hold things up when they need to. It's a really clever ploy that they've got.
Kansas having some sort of a quarter for Ringwood too down back.
As in comes the boundary throw. Ball on the deck, socket off the ground, and just on the right side of the boundary, not out on the full, and we'll have a boundary throw in on the half-back flank for Heathmont, far side of the ground. At 22 minutes played now here in this second term. The pendulum has come back towards the centre after swinging well in the direction of Ringwood in that first term, and in comes the boundary throw. Abraziz wins the tap down now here for Heathmont doing the rucking. It's knocked down now here to Jackson for Ringwood. Couldn't get through a sea of traffic. Abraziz tries to find his way through, and so does Young here for Heathmont. His handball out, and Heathmont get it back now here to Young. A little chip kick in towards the centre wing, and the mark taken here by Knudsen. Moves it out now here. Nice short pass here to Hendricks, and out come the Heathmont Footy Club here through Walton. His kick out now here towards the half-back flank. One-on-one contest. Almost winning it there was Colombo. Ball on the deck and getting it now here is Sparrow. His kick in towards the half-forward line. Oh, couldn't win it there. Could Savoury. Nice spoil from behind as Sverns went into a heavy tackle. The kick comes in towards the direction of Kevin Clark. Picks it up off the deck. Gets the hand pass away, but it was to a Ringwood player, and the kick comes out now here, and the mark taken here by Bowden for Ringwood. All Ringwood in the centre of the ground. They've got 3-4 players, and it comes out here to Callanan. Callanan's hands quickly in towards Atwell. His kick in towards the direction there of George Brereton. I had my tongue tied, but Brereton did well. Brereton in, he kicks it, and he's hit the pipe. Oh, did so well there, did Brereton. Had my tongue tied as well. And well, just a minor score there for Ringwood. It is 7-10-52. They lead Heathmont 6-3-39, and it is 23 minutes gone in the second term.
Last two times the Ringwood have made some good plays starting from the half-back line, Davo, and they've worked the corridor. Then they've gone wide and they haven't been able to spot up the target.
Yeah, it's been that last kick inside the 50, whereas in the first quarter they were able to get it in there a bit quicker and they were able to take those marks. They haven't had nearly as many marks inside 50.
Pye throws the ball back in. We'll give that one to Power over a Breeze in the front spot there. Brent English is happy to see that one over. A couple of players going, how about deliberate? Pies not having a bar of that one. So across the half-forward line here for Ringwood. They haven't kicked a goal in this second term. We've gone 23 and a half minutes. Heathmont trailing by 13 points at the moment. A Breeze at the bottom of the pack. He's gone into the ruck contest there. Ball hits the deck. David Knowles is on the bottom there for the Jets. He's happy to hand the ball back to the umpire 50 metres out from the Ringwood goal line. Ball's been thrown aloft. Breeze got the knockdown. That's okay. Little fresh air shot, I think, that time out there by Walton, but it spills out to the Jets into the middle of the ground where Knudsen was there. Little toe poke. He gets it away of the Lachlan variety. Charging through there was Nainer, I should say, and he's going to get pinged for that one. He hit the deck, then he went the deck. It was like the double movement, if we're talking rugby styles there. He did, the big man, and free kick to Ringwood across the half-back line. Short passes on. Paddy Bowden, he's kicked 2 goals in this first half, so he's happy just to follow the football and be the general at the moment.
They're trying to set up to go through the middle again if they can, but Regan Davis is stopping it.
Cairns been great across the back line here in the first half for Ringwood. Switched it out wide. Here's Grierson. Swings around on the left up towards the wing position. Blythe was the flyer. He couldn't quite take it, but was up to the challenge to go after it again. Scrambled a kick up towards the half-forward line. Ringwood still look to have the numbers. 50 metres out from goal. The kick goes up towards the farther direction, and you just know that Trent, if he's one-on-one, he's going to be so difficult to beat. If he can use 2 hands, that's great. And if he needs to use one, well, he'll do it anyway, and that's what he did that time.
Just protected the drop zone of the ball beautifully with his body, and when he does that, he's just almost unbeatable in that marking contest.
That was magnificent, but on real, like Regan Davis is coming off now. He was loose, and he was so lazy getting across, and he had an opportunity and he just jogged across and didn't help out enough, and that's why they got an easy inside.
Goal number 80 to Trent Farmer from the Ringwood Football Club, and it's just what the doctor ordered for the Redbacks as we cross the 25.5-minute mark of this second term in the Division 3 preliminary final today. Ringwood stretch their lead back out to a very handy 19 points, 8-10-58 to 6-3-39.
You have those one-on-ones with Farmer. It's pretty hard to stop him, and he just showed his class again with being able to hold off a pretty solid player in Sverns. But you know what? They've got to keep pushing. They need another one here, Heathmont. They've got to get back their quarter ascendancy. Otherwise, they don't want Ringwood to kick another quick one.
So 26 gone here, second term. Naina wins the tap down. Break coming now here for Heathmont as the kick comes in towards centre half forward. Nice fist down there by Cairns. Ball loose. Picked up now here by Savoury, but he had two Ringwood players to deal with, and we'll have a ball up directly in front at centre half forward here for the Heathmont Footy Club. We are well into time on here before half-time as Naina won the tap down again, but it went straight here to Ringwood, and well, holding the ball, the call. Good tackle applied there by Knowles. And Heathmont have won themselves a free kick. Naina's going to take it. And well, it looks like he's going to back himself here from about 55, 60 out.
Got to kick the goal now. If you go back and waste this time, he had options available.
So Naina lines up here for Heathmont. The kick is up. It's going slightly to the left, and it is rushed over the line for the Miners score. And that brings Heathmont 6-4-40. They trail 8-10-58 to Ringwood with 27 gone here in the second term. So to bring the ball back in is Cairns, who's had quite the second term, as we've touched on a couple of times. Gets the kick out now here up towards the half-back flank on the far side of the ground. Jordanov got the fist on the footy, and the footy goes over the line. We'll have a boundary throw in.
That was a clever bit of play then. He just, he's behind, put it out of bounds, start again.
So boundary throw in, about 2 kicks from the Heathmont goal. Far side of the ground, Abrazizi to do the rucking here against Power. Power won it, but winning the footy there was Atwell for Ringwood, but got tackled pretty strongly there by Knowles, and we'll have a ball up.
He's been good in the ruck, Abrazizi, when he's gone in. He's been giving them a real contest.
And he wins that tap down. Knowles couldn't win the footy. Rourke busting through there for Heathmont. Gets a kick in towards the forward pocket, but it dribbles out over the line, just inside the line, so not out on the full. We'll have a boundary throw in.
They really need Savoury to stand up and take a mark in this forward line.
They've had a lot of forward entries. What are they looking at, looking like, Grant Campbell?
It's 18-8 now, so Ringwood have had 6 of the last 9.
They've certainly had a good term as well. Can they manufacture something in the last minute or so here? It's deep in the Heathmont forward line. There's a lot of players around this football. There'll be a lot of desperate Ringwood backs and midfielders just trying to create any stoppage they can and run down the clock as Naina goes up and Power got the knockdown out towards the boundary line. But a quick shot on goal. I think this has come out of absolutely nowhere. Jono Knudsen, you little beauty. He slams it through. That's where we were just asked that Heathmont needed to snag one here, and Jono has done the job, Davo.
And if they actually want the ball to go back now, and I think the siren to go. That's what they want. They want the siren. I know you might want an extra minute, but go in on that goal. It brings it back to, 11 points or 12 points?
12 points.
Back to 2 goals, go in at half-time really pumped, and, they've been tremendous this quarter, Heathmont.
Got to love those stoppage goals. It's crossed down boundary side to Tim Fitzsimons.
Yeah, Pat Bowden just placed himself here as a loose man defence. He's sitting about, probably 40 metres out on his own, just trying to get to half-time at this margin it is now.
So the ball comes out of centre. Ringwood trying to thrust forward here. Quick kick, nice ball done there by Brown. Mark almost taken in there by Spurrell. Bouncing footy. Hand pass comes out there in the direction of Knudsen. That of the Alistair variety. His kick up towards half-back line.
You'll take that every day of the week, won't you?
Colombo with a mark he wasn't expecting. The ball comes out now here towards the centre square. All Heathmont there at the moment. Davis is one of them. Dummies the handball. Kicks in towards centre half forward in the direction of Savoury. But the mark taken there by Hendricks, and he's directly in front at centre half forward.
Got to move it quicker. He's too far out here. What is he doing?
So he decides to kick in short.
See?
And may have listened to the advice there of BWS as Rourke throws the footy down.
He's filthy about it too.
In frustration. And, well, that will end the term. It finishes 8-10-58. Ringwood leading Heathmont by 2, 7-4-46 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Beautifully captured by Leroy Green there on the replay, and the slow motion facial expressions as well. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast on 98.1 Radio Eastern and streaming live around the globe today on afl.org.au. It's Division 3 preliminary final day, and of course a huge game out there between Baldwin and Blackburn. Ray Baird, boundary side.
Joel Caldwell, boys. Look, a good quarter, Joel. Look, you tightened up around the centre clearances, and your forwards were very good. Disappointing that they scored the goal towards the end of the quarter.
It was, but we're back in the game now, so we spoke about trying to get 2-3 goals back each quarter, and brought it back 4. So, we just got our hands on it. We're just slightly
walk
clean,
with him, Ray.
Great.
Thanks, boys.
Very much to Ray Baird and Joel Caldwell. He's certainly, there's no doubt he won't be pumped Peter Baird going into this second half. It was a fantastic effort by his side to come from a very decent deficit at quarter time to now be back right well and truly in this game.
Oh, they are in this game now. I mean, they kicked 6 goals to in that quarter, Heathmont. That's a super effort. He said he was probably only looking to try and bring that margin back by 2 or 3. They've reduced it by 4, and they go into half-time with all the ascendancy in this game, and it's probably given Paddy Bowden something to think about. We saw him try and change it up late in that quarter, become the loose man in defence himself. That left Trent Farmer 1 out, which sort of took away that unpredictability they had in that first quarter, so that actually hurt them. It's almost like robbing Peter to pay Paul a little bit, and that's because of the hardness that Heathmont showed. He had to try and do something to stem the flow, and all credit to Heathmont. This game is backing on, and I'm glad we're out here, not at Division 1 now, BWS.
Yeah, it's an absolute ripper out here. We are hoping you're enjoying it. We're going to talk to Davis Harrigan after the break. He's out at the big clash between Baldwin and Blackburn, and that's a pretty close affair as well. Out at Lilydale in the grand final for the girls between Bayswater and the Waverley Blues. It's a very tight game out there also. So it's all happening across the eastern suburbs right here on 98.1 Radio Eastern, and we'll be back after this with all those important around the ground scores. And the second half out here, we can't wait.
Oh, I've got a couple of best friends. Just great people with big hearts.
I met him in kindergarten.
We both keep each other grounded.
He's in the Defence Force.
4 best friends, actually. They're like my sisters.
She's really caring and funny.
He runs a mark every weekend, so I haven't seen him that much because I'm married.
We've always just clicked.
Best friend lives in the country.
She's the best.
When celebrating a loved one's life, don't leave it to just anyone to organise. Find out more at turbanbrothers.com.au. Turban Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Program sponsor. EFL.org.au is the place to be online for all the latest on the Eastern Football League. Keep up to date by checking out the latest news and feature articles. Have your say in the EFL poll. Check out all the latest EFL videos, and best of all, you can listen back to any EFL radio program at any time. Head to EFL.org.au. The Eastern Football League. Local footy at its best. Bigger and better in season 2016, Netball EFL is back. The fastest growing competition in the eastern suburbs continues to expand. Don't miss the fast-paced action every Friday night across multiple venues. For more information or to get involved, head to efl.org.au.
Probably amongst my friends, I'm known for my sense of humour.
So people know me for my laid-back attitude.
I work too much and I play too much sport, and I'm a fantastic mum.
My striking good looks.
I can sing.
Do a lot of running and swimming and surfing.
My karaoke.
Getting overly passionate about sport.
I try to be there for everyone. I think that's what I would be known for in my group.
Be remembered for the great moments in your life. Find out more at turbanbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Program sponsor.
EFL Saturday Game Day continues. Let's head back and go local for your footy.
Welcome back here at East Burwood this afternoon. It's the Division 3 Premier preliminary final, I should say, and it's half-time here. And Ringwood hold a 12-point lead after Heathmont kicked 5 goals to 1 in the second quarter to get back into the contest. It's Ringwood 8-10-58, leading Heathmont 7-4-46. And the goal kickers so far for Ringwood, 3 to Farmer, 2 each to Bowden and Wilkinson, and a single to Brereton, whilst for Heathmont, all single goal kickers, Jono Knudsen, English, Clark, Davis, Abruzzi, Ryan and Colombo. Man, with all the stats in that first half for Tuestap, it's over to you, Soupy Campbell.
Well, the inside 50 count really told the story. In that first quarter, it was 21-6 in favour of Ringwood. In the second quarter, 18-8 in favour of Heathmont. And in fact, it was 15-2 at one stage, so they certainly dominated the first 20 minutes. They won the contested possessions by 2 and the uncontested possessions by 14 with 41-27. Interestingly, the clearances went Ringwood's way 11-10, so the clearances have gone the way of the side that have lost each quarter, which maybe is an indication that defensively those clearances haven't been that important, because Heathmont providing a good rebound and Brent English being one of those players to do that with 15 disposals and a goal. Atwell really went out of the game in the first 20 minutes of that second quarter. He had 7 disposals in the first, only the 3 in the second quarter, although they were important ones and led to their only goal.
for half-time score from the girls' grand final this afternoon. Bayswater lead at the moment, 2 goals, 1-13 against Waverley Blues, the one solitary behind. We've got another big game out this afternoon at Jubilee Park in Ringwood. And Davis Harrigan's there to tell us all about it. Davis, tell us what the tale of the tape is there.
Hey, Brash, yeah, so it's half-time and the players are just heading back onto the ground. It's been a very, very highly contested, error-riddled, stoppage-filled game of football. Blackburn up by just 3 points, 3-5-23, Baldwin 3-2-20, and it's been that way for most of the game. Obviously, Blackburn's come in off the back of winning against Doncaster and Baldwin coming off the loss against South Croydon. So for Blackburn to stay in this, they always needed to make it a contest, and they did. Both sides have probably missed a couple of opportunities going forward, but the defensive effort from both sides has been 10 out of 10. That effort to just try and drive it back up the ground. There's been some great contests, and each and every player simply wants to go for the ball. It's a fantastic day out here. The sun is out. Ground's a bit soft underfoot, so it's probably not the fastest game in the world, but it's definitely a good game to watch here, Brash. I cannot pick what's going to happen, but I think that if one of these sides can get up by maybe 2 goals or 15 points, 18 points, the game could break open for them. It's just a matter of which way to go, because neither side has got on top, and neither end of Jubilee is the scoring end at this time. So very, very close game here. The winner to face South Croydon next week in a prelim.
Obviously, David, as you said, it's a very dour struggle at the moment. How's who do you think looks the more likely in the second half that can take the game by the throat?
Both of them can, Brash. I remember hearing Marty Paskett quarter time said it's whoever, they're going to be out on their legs, referring to Blackburn. He just wants Baldwin to play the 4 quarters. He said Baldwin knows how to play this ground. So it seems like Marty's very, very confident that Baldwin can run this one out. But some of the players from Blackburn, Mitchell Thorpe has been fantastic, almost BOG for Blackburn. Jack hammered up the ground. It's going to be very tight. It's going to be a very tight one, Brash. But right at the moment, very hard to tell which side is going to lose the legs out from here.
Davis, it's Tim. Baldwin relied pretty heavily on Jeff Goebbels last week up forward. He kicked 6 for them. How's their forward line functioning so far today?
Impact on the forward line, again, Tim, it's been minimal. Blackburn have quelled it really well. Goebbels has had a few touches of the ball. I think he's kicked one. I haven't been tallying the goals due to the photos, but the impact on both sides has been very minimal. You Jake Hammond to the world, Anthony Fagans, Goebbels, etc. They've been in and around, but they just haven't hit the scoreboard. So both ways, defensively and offensively, both sides have done very well. So Goebbels is there, but he just hasn't had that opportunity to break it open yet. If he does, though, Blackburn beware.
Davis, obviously there's a lot at stake here for both clubs. Do you think it's going to come down to a couple of match-winning moves from the coach to pull off something here?
I think I don't know if it comes down to something like that, but I think it'll come down to whoever can break the game open first and whoever can break it open quicker. Whoever does that is probably going to take the game by the neck. We saw Blackburn do it last week against Doncaster at this same ground, so I think whoever can break it open first, it's going to happen. I just cannot call it, Brash. It has been so stoppage-filled and error-riddled at times from both sides that neither of them have made an impact. But I'm just watching the third quarter starting now, and looks like Blackburn may have got the spark for an early push. All right, Davis, just give us a score once again at half-time and keep us up to 8 throughout the rest of the afternoon. We'll do. At half-time it was Blackburn 3-5-23, Baldwin at 3-2-20. Well, there you have it. Davis Harrigan there down at Jubilee Park this afternoon. It's a 3-point lead to Blackburn in probably what is Davis has described as very much a dour struggle there. So we'll be keeping our eye on that game right throughout the afternoon. Getting back to this game, Tim, it's been probably a half of 2 halves, really. Ringwood in the first half, or in the first quarter, 7 goals to 2. The second quarter, Heathmont respond with 5 goals to 1. The game's still in an even keel at half-time.
Yeah, you're right. I think in the first quarter, Heathmont weren't able to get their running game going. We all know they like to use the ball by hand, run in waves, link up and spread from the contest, and they weren't quite able to do that in the first quarter. They couldn't get their hands on the ball in tight to really get that going. But in the second quarter, I felt like they started getting their hands on the ball a bit more, spread with a bit more purpose, got on the end of it. Ringwood maybe a bit flat-footed around the stoppages, and going forward, they looked a lot more dangerous. And I think that they were probably lucky even to be within 6 goals at quarter time, I reckon. Ringwood had a lot of the play early and didn't capitalise on the scoreboard, but they were able to late in that first quarter, and then it allowed Heathmont to get back into the game in that second, which they did.
But equally though, Tim, Heathmont also had opportunities too to be more than 7 goals for. Look, they just started to, for me it was their probably the Norwood connection, English and Spurrell, and that sparked that revival back through the midfield, and blokes like Tommy Rourke and Lockie Svern started to work into the contest. Young off the half back line was starting to get his hand on the ball. So there were some good signs there. They probably missed a couple of goals that they probably should have kicked as well.
Yeah, I do agree with that. Obviously, as you said, English has really gotten on top in that midfield. He took control in that second quarter, and Sparrow as well. He was everywhere. He was fantastic. I think for Ringwood, off the half-back line, Cairns has been terrific.
Yep.
If he wasn't down there, I reckon the game would probably be about on even terms right now. But he's doing well to stop a lot of the Heathmont attack and then repel and rebound himself. And it was interesting. We saw Paddy Bowden drop down behind the play on his own for about the last probably 8 or so minutes, I would have thought. He started after the last couple of centre bounces on his own in defensive 50. And I think he would have, on the ground, being a playing coach, he would have had the feeling, he would have felt that Heathmont are really starting to get on top. And if we don't do something about it to restrict them,
it was almost like, Tim, the fact that he basically went down there to try and change the tempo of the game and try and play a little bit of tempo football just to take just to try and deny Heathmont constant possession. And I just thought that in that quarter, I just thought that Ringwood went back into their shells a little bit, I reckon.
Yeah, they did. They worked the ball really well in that first quarter. They were running in waves. But in that second, they were a bit more stop-start. I think the key was also they were behind a lot. They felt like Heathmont were first to the ball a lot more of the time than what Ringwood were. And their delivery inside forward 50 probably wasn't great. They were using the corridor well, but I think as BWS said in the call, they were getting up to centre-half forward and then going out wide. So I don't know if that was Heathmont's defence really guarding the space well. And their delivery, there was a couple of balls to Farmer there that weren't really to his advantage. And it makes it really hard for him to get his hands on the footy and get involved. But he's still playing terrifically. I think he's kicked 2 or 3. I think he's kicked 2 at the moment. So although he's had some, probably not the best delivery, especially in that second quarter, he still looks like he could break the game wide open if he gets some more consistent ball.
Yeah, it set up a fascinating second half. It's good to see that Heathmont are back in the contest, because the way Ringwood were playing in that first quarter, I just about called it game over because they just couldn't get near the ball. But credit to Heathmont, they've hit back hard. I'll be interested to see, just after they've had 2 hard games on 2 big surfaces or 2 lush surfaces. We'll just see how they run out this second half and whether the legs are going to give way, because I still think Ringwood have got a lot left in the tank to give. But we'll just see what's going to happen. Well, both sides are back out on the ground here, Tim, and the umpires are back on the ground for a second half, and we're looking forward to getting back to calling this game. How do you see this game finally finishing?
I think there's a lot more upside for Ringwood. I think if they can get control of the game like they did in that first quarter, they could really end the game here in this third if they get well back on top. But we saw Heathmont, and I think the key for Heathmont is, I don't think Kevin Clark, he's been looking lively, he's been involved a bit, but he's still got a lot more to give, I think. And if he can get away, it can go a long way for Heathmont winning this game.
This sort of reminds me of a Mitcham victory in the grand final a couple of years ago against Templestowe. They gave it, they were behind. Heathmont, the Temple's very similar. They came back into it in the second quarter, but then just all of a sudden, just as the second half progressed, the side with the fresher legs just happened to start running the game right out. And I've got a feeling that that's the way that this game's going to pan out. But, Steve White, we've got a contest here, 12 points. We've got another big contest. There's only 3 points in it at Jubilee Park, and even the girls, 12 points. So there's a lot of football to be played, and it's over to you to take it over and kick us off in the second half, mate.
Thanks, Brash, and a couple of big contests next weekend as well, Div 2 and Div 3 grand finals. The winner of this today will go on to play next Sunday at this very ground. And Davo, your thoughts coming into this?
Yeah, I tend to agree with Brash. I got a funny feeling Ringwood will, they couldn't play as poorly as what they did that last quarter, and I think they'll come out and play well this quarter.
So as the ball comes out of centre here for Ringwood, launching onto a loose footy here for Ringwood. Here is a nice fend off there by Jordanov. He kicks this one straight in towards full forward in the direction there of Farmer. Plus ball from behind. Bowden couldn't take the mark, diving on the footy there at Davis, but it was touched off the boot as Bowden managed to soccer that one, and it was touched there by a sprawling Sparrow, and just the minor score, and well, we're almost off to a flyer there. That brings Ringwood to 11:59. They lead Heathmont 7-4-46. Less than a minute played, third term.
That was a great bit of play then from Bowden, wasn't it? He was out of position and managed to get a foot to it, but just touched.
So Ringwood, well, uncontested mark of sorts there from Collier as that clearing kick gets the handball stuff now here to Cairns, who's had a good one. His kick is a high up and under and a real mongrel, almost like a Wallabies All Blacks punt there from the 5/8. If that one comes back now here to Rourke. Ball comes out loose. Farm Jackson's in there for Ringwood. Here comes a kick in now here from Davis. It's to the right. And 2 scoring shots in as many kicks here for Ringwood. Heathmont on the back foot early, 8-12-60. They lead Heathmont 7-4-46, 1.5 gone. Third term on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
They're switched right on again, Ringwood. You can see straight away they've been attacking the football hard. Heathmont have got to come out and play exactly like they did in the second quarter. Can't afford to let Ringwood get on top early.
So Pettigrew to bring the ball back in here for Heathmont. His kick up towards half-forward line. The mark taken there by Spurrell at the back of the pack.
He's had a really good game for Heathmont today.
Indeed he has, particularly in that second term. His kick is a low flat one there in the direction of Abrazizi. He couldn't win the contest, and it's a loose ball. Kevy Clark charging in there, wins the footy, gets a fortuitous bounce, turns. Clark now with the kick in towards goal. It's going to bounce, and it's going to bounce to the right. What an individual effort there from Kevin Clark. Just the minor score, 7-5-47. They trail Ringwood 8-11-59. Let's go boundary side of Tim Fitzsimons.
English probably won't be too happy. He was right on there for the handball and running onto his left side as well. It probably would have been a better option.
Ball comes back in, Power and little knockdown, well done. Atwell slammed it on the left boot into the middle of the ground. It was a scrambly sort of kick. Broden had the front spot, couldn't quite trap it, charging through there. David Sindri arched the back, sends the ball forward. A breeze couldn't quite take it. English at the fall of the ball on his unfavourable side, got the handball out wide. There's a lot of players inside this forward arc. Sean Young, well, he went after it. He copped a little tap on the shoulder, like, how you going, mate? And it was cheeky touchwood, but it's been paid to the Heathmont Football Club, and they'll have a shot on goal to reduce the margin back to one straight kick.
Although there wasn't much in that free kick, he was the only player that actually went after the ball, and that's what the umpires rewarded in that situation, I think, Davo.
And I think he got it when as he was trying to back out of the contest, the guy tried to grab him and he just got the back of his neck there. So, look, you just got to take advantage of it.
1 goal to his name in this game. Young comes in now. It's an important kick. Has he got the carry? Well, the Pine's been one of the favourites down this end. We've seen it hit it a few times, and he hits the post. Minor score to the Heathmont Football Club. 4 minutes into this third term. They trail by 11 points with Ringwood to bring the ball back into play. Grandstand side was a 2-on-1 situation. It wasn't a high percentage kick. Sparrow was there just to take the mark. It was pretty easy in the end. It might have been touched off the boot, but it went away the way of English. He took it. Umpire paid it. He wasn't too sure about it. Gave it back to Sparrow. They're 2 kicks from home. Sends the ball to the hot spot. Who's going to be the fall of the ball? Kevy Clark. This is his specialty. A breeze was there, he got dispossessed. The umpire said play on, and a step on the goal. Fantastic stuff, Robbie Savoury. Well, if Ringwood were looking for the free, Heathmont were there to take the spoils, and we've got a game on here, gentlemen. There's no doubt about that. Bendigo back scoreboard 5 minutes in to this third quarter, and it's a 5-point ball game, 8-11-59 to 8-6-54.
The entire Ringwood backline all stood then and watched that, thinking that there was going to be a free kick, but unfortunately, unless the umpire blows the whistle, you're not going to get one.
Captain Obvious there, Davo.
Here they go again.
This one kicked out towards half-back flank. Savoury looking to take the mark, and a man on his back, play on the call. The Campbell comes out now looking there for Callanan, soccering off the ground in the direction here of Clark. He laid to Shepherd. He comes bouncing now here for Knowles. Campbell over the top. Heathmont with another chance. Oh, what a play there! And in fact, Shepherd saved it. Almost scoring shot. I think that was Clark or Callanan. And just as Shepherd there on the goal line.
Grant Campbell, what's happening in this early stages of the third term stats-wise?
Well, the inside 50s are 4-1, and they've scored from every inside 50 so far.
Low-scoring affair out at Ringwood today between Blackburn and Baldwin, and Blackburn are leading this game by 2 goals, 32-20. Beautiful.
That was just textbook the way they set that up there. Ringwood came through the corridor, lowered the eyes as they ran to the point of the centre square and just hit their target inside 50. And that's just beautiful setup there.
Oh, that's nice. They needed that.
From where we are standing, that definitely went over the top of the goal post.
There's no way that it travelled that far. Check your marbles, Ray.
Okay. We'll have a concussion test for Ray, I think, after that hit in the second quarter.
And the doctors are on hand too. Ball back in the middle. What can Ringwood do? They want to get out of the middle again. Here's Callanan up towards the half-forward line. He goes, and a strong mark has been taken out there by Brereton. He just kicked the last goal that didn't hit the top of the post. Over inside forward 50, he goes looking for Farmer. Couldn't take it. Trapped it. Snapped around the body, but he couldn't pull it back far enough. Could Trent. He was looking for his fourth, but instead he puts a minor score on the board. Bendigo Bank scoreboard 8 minutes into the third term. They call it the premiership quarter, and Ringwood have been peppering in the last few minutes, but Heathmont are right behind them. It's an 11-point ball game as Davis brings the ball back in.
Flying from the back there was Ferns for Heathmont. Wins the footy down, gets the kick up towards the half-forward flank, and a good mark taken there by Savoury. Goes by hand quickly here to Colombo. Shakes one tackle, kicks it in towards Clark. Oh, almost couldn't take the mark. A diving effort there from Kevy Clark, and he gets wrapped up by 2 Ringwood players. Well, that was better from Heathmont coming off the back line, but just unable to capitalise there.
Colombo had to do better then. He was in the clear, had no pressure on him with the kick, just missed the target.
Naina wins the tap down. Ringwood win the footy there off the contest. And in there is Savoury as well, and as is English. Oh, almost stole the footy and off to the races, but the umpire says, I'll have it.
And he knew exactly what he was doing then, English. He was waiting and waiting. He was going to tear it out and go. It was really clever stuff from him.
Power wins the ruck contest. Rourke wins the footy, gets the hands out now. Quick one now here to Walton. His kick into one direction of Abraziz. Couldn't take the mark. Ball on the deck. Ringwood bust out now here. Quick clearing kick there from Bowden. And a foot race on now here between Jackson and Sindley here for Heathmont as the Ball ends up in the contest. Sindri ends up on the receiving end. We'll get a boundary. Ball up.
He did that well then, Sindri. He was outnumbered at one stage, brought it back in, didn't give away the free kick, got it back to a static stop. So we'll just see how if they can clear it back into the 50 from here.
And after a quiet first half, he's come into the game in the last 4 or 5 minutes from Robbie Sindri.
So 10 minutes played here, third term, still Ringwood. Quick click there from Blythe up towards the centre wing, just bounces over the boundary line and we'll have another boundary throw in.
And again, Callanan and Blythe this quarter are starting to get a little bit of the football. So, you know, they first quarter they were dominant, didn't touch it in the second quarter basically, and they've come back into it a little bit this quarter as well.
So 11 points the margin out here at East Burwood Reserve. The tap one down by Nana, doing better in the ruck contest in this third term as English trying to shake a couple of tackles, one of them being Callanan, and we'll have a ball up. So just over 10 minutes played here in this third term. As in comes the ruck contest. Nana Power wins that tap down. The kick out there by Callanan was smothered, but he's going to get go number 2. Gets a quick handball out, and here come Ringwood. The ball pumped in towards the forward line. It's a contest. Farmer almost took it with one hand as Knutson now socketed this one off the ground. It comes right back into here to Ringwood hands. The kick comes in towards full forward. Plenty of players flying, but Heathmont managed to win that battle as the ball now on the deck. Strong tackle there on Sindri, and Jackson was the one applying the tackle. We'll get another ball up. So a bit more of a game of inches here in this third term, as opposed to the free-flowing first and second terms from either team. Here comes Nana, swats this one out. Quickly onto the boot goes English, and he gets it around the corner here to Colombo, who takes a mark. Going against the run of play, assesses his options, got Savoury on offer downfield, goes towards him, takes a pretty comfortable mark. And he goes back to Colombo, streaking through, beats 2 tackles. Goes by hand now out to his teammate there in Knudsen. Back now, come Heathmont to go forward. A quick kick in towards Rourke. He takes the mark now here on centre wing for Heathmont. Rourke looks for options downfield, kicks in towards the direction. A 2 contested mark though. It was a poor kick as Lockie Spurns had Blythe to beat, and Blythe took a comfortable mark. Kicks out now here towards Burns, and Ringwood start the ascendancy here on the centre wing area as Bowden has it now here for Ringwood. Long kick in towards the half forward line, but plenty of Heathmont players there. Good mark taken there by Dylan Spurns, and he goes back now here to Rourke. Across the back line come Heathmont. Davis now with the foot. He got to hurry. He's got Jackson to attend to, and Regan Davis takes the mark here at centre half back. Davis now pumps this one, looking for Savoury. The kick was a poor one, almost taken there by Burmeister. Gets a quick handball out, looking here for Grierson. Grierson goes by hand now over to here to McCann. His kick now in towards the half-forward line here for Ringwood. Contested footy, and Knudsen takes the mark and sees it over the boundary line. Let's go boundary side of Tim Fitzsimons.
Christopher Colombo has just gone down with looks like to be a pretty bad ankle injury. He was in a lot of pain just in that contest before, right in front of us on the wing. He's jogging on the boundary now, and it doesn't look good at all.
So in comes the boundary throw in. Trying to get through for Ringwood there was Macklin. Ball on the deck. Here come Heathmont busting out now. Here is Nana. Oh, strong tackle. Almost got pinged. And the play continues. Heathmont get the kick out now here to Savoury. And he takes a good mark here on centre wing in the contest. BWS.
So Robbie Savoury kicked it straight into the man on the mark there. It was disappointing by him. Powell picked it up for Ringwood. In a series of handballs, they were looking for Callanan, but came in there was Cairns, got boot to ball inside ball, 50, Farmer from the back. Well, he created the contest, but the Jets have the fall of the ball and the numbers. Kick up towards the half-forward line, bouncing football, Kevy Clark. He overran the pill that time. Burns came charging out for Ringwood and then kicked it out towards his coach in, Paddy Bowden. He's got time, he's got space, he sends the ball inside ball, 50. That is beautiful play. He asked for Farmer to present, Farmer did, and he took it lace out on the chest, about 35 to 40 metres out. Difficult angle, but very gettable.
He ran about 65 metres then, Bowden. He saw the ball bouncing over one side, ran all the way across. It was a sensational piece of work.
So Farmer's got 3. He's side lead by 11. We've got a whistle. Might be blood rule.
Just in the last 4 or 5 minutes, Heathmont's field kicking's really let them down. They've missed a lot of targets, whereas conversely, Ringwood, they were so clean with their ball use, and that's why they've ended up with a shot on goal. Heathmont not showing the reward for their effort.
Robbie Savoury will get quickly mopped up and no doubt be straight back on the park as Trent Farmer comes in, leans over it and pushed it to the left-hand side. Usually it gets closer than that, does Trent, and through for 1 behind the margin, back out to 2 straight kicks, 9-13, 67. to 8-7-55 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Halfway through the third term out here in the Division 3 preliminary final.
It looks like Colombo's still trying to get back on the ground. They need him because he's got that foot speed that they don't have around the ground, so they really do need him to come back on.
So Davis kicks the ball to himself and kicks it all out on the full. And Ringwood with a gift here on the 50-metre line. And it's going to be Brown to take it here for the Redbacks. He's about 60 out now and kicks this one back into the forward pocket. From whence it came, and Farmer, well, had it gone over the boundary line? No, according to the boundary umpire. And
it's on the full.
Oh, it was on the full, okay. Thought Ray Baird might have called that one. He's got better eyes than me.
He got cleaned up in the first half, Ray Baird.
Was that hit from Spurrell? I think he should have been in a concussion test. But the ball to be brought back in here for Heathmont. 15 minutes. He's
still standing, Ray, though. He was looking for a free hit replacement, but it didn't come.
Medibank is probably tuning into the game as this one now here brought by Ryan Young on the far side here for Heathmont. He goes by foot out wide to the centre wing area. Intended target Naina in a foot race there with his opposite number. Nai's a pretty strong tackle. Ball on the deck and neither player can get in there. As trying to win the footy also there for Ringwood. There was Blythe and he was held. And we'll get a ball up.
That was great play from Naina then. He was 2-on-1 outnumbered. He was a big ruckman and he managed to hold the football in.
So in comes the ball up. Naina doing the rucking. Jordanov winning the tap. The kick coming out. Ringwood's way out towards centre wing. High up and under. Davis couldn't win the fly. Burton the spoil from behind. Here's Burmeister here for Ringwood. He's kicking towards the direction of Farmer. Nice job from behind there by Sverns. The ball on the deck. Farmer picks it right back up. Takes the tackle. Gets the hand pass out and a hit of Bowden. He gets dragged to the ground.
Beautiful!
That's a goal for Ringwood. Callanan, he pots it home, and Ringwood, well, they're extending their lead here in the third term. They are 10-3-73. They play Heathmont 8-7-55 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Contender for Fibro goal of the day.
Absolute play of the day, no doubt. What a pirouette by Paddy Bowden there.
And just the presence and composure while courting the tackle to be able to hit his man with his hands, set up the goal. Fantastic play there, showing all of his experience there, Paddy Bowden.
Huge goal in the context of this game. 18-point margin once again.
Heathmont need the next one.
So just waiting for the ball to come back in the middle out here. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast on 98.1 Radio Eastern and streaming live around the globe. EFL.org.au. It's all happening here in the third term. A breeze went in there, got dispossessed of the football. Umpire wasn't going to ping you for that one. Stacks on the mill and we'll have another ball up.
And this is an interesting point because Breezy and Jordanov are both in the right, and both the other ruckmen have gone off for a breather. Interesting to see who takes the ascendancy here.
Well, Breezy got the knockdown there. Jackson was the first player who scooped it out the back of Breezy. Breezy came back in, got the handball out wide. That was questionable, but anyway, the kick from Davis went out towards the English direction. Can he trap it? The big man, he can't.
Well, it almost runs into our boundary runners again. It's going to call out the danger zone.
The boundary line out of bounds. Tim Fitzsimon's laughing his head off there, thinking Ray might have got bowled over for the second time. Abai throws it back in, across the half forward line effectively for Ringwood on hands and knees. Young tried to reach for it, he pulled it in, and we'll have another bounce. 18 points is the margin. 18 minutes have ticked over on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard as well. Big crowd out here at East Burwood today, and why wouldn't you want to come out there? It's sun-drenched and it's a cracking game of football. Here comes the Heathmont Football Club. Kick up towards the half-forward line. Wack was in the front spot. He got it away. That was good play. He's Blythe on the left boot in towards the middle of the ground. It looked like they might have called play on there. David Burmeister, he was pretty lucky in the end. He went this way, that way, then he kicked it straight into the man of the mark. Lux of Fortune Collier was there, who dumped it forward. Savory. And then copped one from Savory after he kicked it. That was not necessary, and it goes down. Oh no, it doesn't. It comes back, doesn't it?
That should be downfield. I'm sorry, that's a mistake from the umpire.
Well, that was the definition of downfield. So can't get clarity from Davo because he's scoffing down a potato cake as it comes down to Calvin Gregg, who takes the mark in the middle of the park. So they're setting themselves up from the middle of the ground here. Ringwood, inside forward 50 they go. Spurrell dropped what he probably should have taken. Young was there, he's been good, gave it back to Spurrell on the left boot into the middle of the ground. Nice mark there by Savory. Stops props and will go back over the mark and look for a proper option. The kick goes out wide. It was charging out there was Colombo. He asked for it. He didn't get the get the kick he was after, and then had to just work it towards the boundary line, and over she goes for a boundary thrown. Right in front of the barbecue out here, right in front of the faithful of both sides. It's the best spot on the ground to see the footy out here at East Beld Reserve. Aberree's got the knockdown that time, and you can see it all happening again as the players pick themselves back up, and we'll have another bounce. 73 plays 55. We have an 18-point ball game, Steve White.
So in comes the ruck. Aberree to do it again for Heathmont. Lost that tap to Power and unable to keep that one in. Is Davis for Ringwood will get a boundary throw in.
They've hurt themselves the last probably 3 or 4 times they've come forward, Heathmont, with their kicking. They've just not been able to hit the targets at all.
So in comes the boundary throw. Aberree and Power again in the ruck. Power wins the tap down. Footy on the deck. Winning the footy there was Heathmont. Snap around the body there from English. It's a high up and under into a contested footy. The flyer there was Grieg for Ringwood, but it comes back now to Heathmont. Clark did well to try and control the ball. They all got one up high, and he's won himself a free.
It's got to be high.
Free kick here for Kevy Clark on the edge of the centre square, about 55 out here from the Heathmont goal.
Have a ping, son.
Savory's back in the goal square. Here comes the kick in towards the goal square. Oh, it was touched just off the line there. Getting a hand to it was Burns for Ringwood, and just a minor score there for the Heathmont Footy Club. It's one they probably should have kicked. Well, they definitely needed it regardless. 10-13-73. They trail 8-8-56.
Three-quarter time out at Jubilee Park. Blackburn versus Baldwin. It's a 10-point lead to Blackburn. 4-9-33 to 3-5-23. 30 minutes to play. Who is going to progress next week to take on South Croydon to match Beaumont in the granny?
Oh, I don't think the ball never gone out in straight sets.
No.
It's always the first time.
So here comes the boundary throw. Tap one down by Aberree. Ball pretty congested. Ryan Young gets tackled, and we'll get another boundary throw. A ball up, excuse me. Just there on the half-back flank. We're into time on here in the third term out at East Burwood Reserve. Trying to get foot to ball. There was Macklin for Ringwood. It comes out now here to Regan Davis for Heathmont. He gets a hand pass, but ran out of real estate. It goes over the boundary line. Get a boundary throw. The grand final here next Sunday afternoon, 2 o'clock, here on 98.1 and EFL.org.au. And we'll be delighted to bring you that one. It should be a cracker regardless of who progresses out of these two teams. As the tap one down now here by Ringwood, trying to burst through was Burmeister here for Ringwood. It comes back in the direction of Heathmont. Ryan Young's there for Heathmont, picks the ball off of the deck, looks for a hand pass out, can't get it to anyone there in blue and yellow and white, and all appeals for holding the ball. It's tough tackle there from Young on Callanan, and he's won himself a free kick.
Tell you what, it's a tough call to make, that one.
As Hendricks was one of those gang tacklers, so he's going to take the free kick on the centre wing area. Kicks in towards this direction of Savory. He's bumped out of the contest. Colombo couldn't gather the footy in. He's taken to ground as 3 or 4 other players go in there as well. And trying to get through the Ringwood tackling there was English, and he can't do likewise. And we'll have a ball up here on the edge of the centre square. 55 out here for the Heathmont goal. And in comes the throw. Savory to do the rucking, wins the contest, doesn't win the footy. Knowles is in there for Heathmont, almost got decapitated. Here's Power now, his quick kick off the boot up towards centre wing, and it's all Ringwood. Here's Burmeister, his kick up towards the direction there of Brereton. He takes the mark on the half-back flank, and he's off to the races. Oh, he got caught, but he shakes the tackle there at Davis. Still got it in towards the direction of Farmer, and he takes the mark. Great play there from Ringwood, and they will line up from about 45 out on about a 15-degree angle.
Fantastic stuff there by Mitch Brereton, just to back himself in that situation, and it has paid off.
So in comes Farmer. He's already kicked 3 this afternoon, and he's kicked a minus score, and not what Ringwood would have ordered at this stage of the game. Maybe that goal could have been the difference in the premiership quarter. 10-14-74, Ringwood lead Heathmont 8-8-56 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. We're into time on, 24 minutes played here in the third term.
Well, Heathmont need the next goal. There's no doubt about that. It spills through all players' legs. Walton was the last player there. Breezy was there to mop up also. He was in the ruck contest. He'll hand it back to the umpire.
They just need to tighten up their field kicking. They've been really sloppy this quarter. They've had enough of the ball, but just not hitting enough targets to really make an impact on the scoreboard.
Certainly the scoring end to the right of your radio dial or screen at the moment as the short pass goes on. Lockie Spurns gets down and takes a good mark. He was looking sideways. It was good that he went back and then kicked it out wide to English. We know he can thump at 50 metres, if so, up towards the half-forward line. But it was just more of a poke up forward there. Cairns, an easy spoil there on Robbie Savory, and over she goes for a boundary throw in right in front of us here in the broadcast position. One of the best spots to call football in the Eastern Football League up at the East Burwood Club Rooms. And we'll have a boundary throw in as it comes in now. Power got the knockdown that time, trying to trap it. There was Knowles. He got dispossessed of the football. Quick kick out there by Ringwood. It gained a valuable 25 metres and then hits the redback bench.
That was great work from Atwell then. He was out of position, managed to get it and scramble it forward.
So ball in true centre wing position. 25 minutes into this final term.
So on the deck, Burmester gets the
third term, I should say.
Gets the kick out, getting ahead of yourself, VWS. But as a kick goes out of bounds, and we'll have a boundary throw in. Coming off the ground now, Sheriff coming onto the ground. Naina is back and back into the ruck contest now here for Heathmont. And Joel Caldwell trying to give his players a bit of a rest, but Abrazizi does the rucking regardless. Naina takes it straight off the ruck contest. His hands out now here to English. Sprays a kick up, high up and under. Colombo's there. Can't win the footy, but it comes down now here as Knudsen there was tackled. Hand pass out there, tries to find Rourke. Got plenty of attention from his opposite number, Atwell, and he's forced over the boundary line. And another boundary throw in. So Heathmont need to score one before the end of this term and keep pace here with Ringwood. We're setting it up for a cracking final term of footy here in this Div 3 final as this one moved out from the boundary throw. It bounced off the shoulder there of Rourke. Players unaware. Callanan got a bit of time and space. Snapped in a brilliant smother there from English. And it's gone back out over the boundary line for another boundary throw in.
He does an absolute power of work, English. If you just watch him around the contest, he's bullocking, he's pushing, he's shoving. He's getting himself in the position. He's trying to run forward and help out. Enormous amount of work.
Into the third quarter. It's three-quarter time in the girls' grand final out of the LSO, and Bayswater lead by 24 points at three-quarter time. 26 plays 2 out there. You think the girls from Bayswater, they might be looking at a senior premiership this year, which will be a great story as the kick goes up for Lilydale. For Lilydale, they're still wearing the same colours. I was in that mode. It's Heathmont though, just outside the centre square. Good tackle there by Atwell, just to hold the ball up and to hold Ryan Young up as well. And we'll have a bounce. Those true centre wing position here. Naina got the knockdown. English just tried to barge his way through. He worked himself out of a phone booth. He thumped it 70 metres at the top of the goal square. There's Clark and Colombo. They're the ones that need to do it. Colombo to Clark. Well, they raffled it in the end. Kevy just can't break the tackle. You are Gonski. Fantastic tackle, Calvin Gregg. Well, the two goal sticks, they tried to share it amongst themselves and they let themselves down. The kick goes out wide. Here's Stephen Burns. He wants to link up along the wing position. That was okay. In towards the middle of the ground now. Ringwood send themselves forward. Nicely done there though by Sparrow. He put his body on the line for Heathmont, but they spilled it through Knudsen. Good strong tackle there. Mitch Brereton is across the half forward line for Ringwood. Well, hooly dooly, it was a big chance gone begging there for the Heathmont Football Club.
I have no idea why Colombo didn't turn onto his right, which he was on, and he went to his left. I don't understand what he was doing there.
Across the half-ball line, here's an absolute go. Short pass there by Jackson into the pocket, and why wouldn't you just spot up the Manny Farmer? He just presents, he finds space, he has the muscle, and he takes the mark, and he'll have his third shot on goal in this term. He's missed a couple, but you could almost just sign this one away now.
Yeah, I don't think you'll miss this one.
Heathmont almost paying the ultimate price for not taking that chance down this end.
Borderline a 2-goal turnaround. They currently lead by 3 goals, make that 4 goals. He's pushed it once again. That's 3 in a row in this third quarter. He is pushed to the left-hand side.
Heathmont get let off the hook, because that might have been the stake through the heart of the comeback. As the ball brought back in now here by Pettigrew. A kick up towards the direction there of Lockie Sferns. Couldn't win the footy. Ball on the deck. Naina's in there for Heathmont, doing a pretty good job so far this afternoon, and won himself a ball up.
Grant Campbell, some stats that matter thanks to Choose Tap Match Stats.
Inside 50s 14 to 10 this quarter. Clearances 12 apiece.
Thanks, Soupy. As the ball knocked down now here at the half-back line. In there is Knudsen there for Heathmont. He gets a stray handball. Oh, it's picked off by Callan, and he got wrapped up. Rourke got foot to ball. And Heathmont come out now here through Knudsen. Good handball here to Rourke. And he kicks a poor mongrel kick out of bounds. And, well, not a bad field position for Heathmont, but they would have liked to have been inside their own 50.
14-point lead to Blackburn early in the last term against Baldwin. 39-25.
In comes the boundary throw. Winning the tap down there is Power. Rourke did well to win the footy there off the Ruppert. Gave a hand pass straight here to Callanan for Ringwood. Callanan shakes the tackle. Doesn't shake the tackle of Knowles. And he got the hand pass away regardless, and a bit extra as Cornwall and Callanan get into it. And a battle of the bantamweights. But that will do it for quarter number 3. What a quarter of footy that was, and what a quarter of footy we have ahead of us. Ringwood 10-15-75. They lead Heathmont 8-8-56 here after 3 quarters at East Burwood Reserve.
Hope you're enjoying the broadcast on 98.1 Radio Eastern and streaming live around the globe, EFL.org.au. The women's grand finals on today. Bayswater are leading that one. Blackburn are leading Baldwin out at Jubilee Park to see who'll take on South Croydon in the preliminary final. And speaking of preliminary finals, that's where we are today. And it is a very, very handy 19-point lead to the Ringwood Football Club as we go into 3-quarter time. The major goal kickers on the ground. Well, Heathmont, they're all single goal kickers right across the board for their 8 goals, but they're sharing it around nicely here with the Ringwood Football Club. Farmer has 3, 2 each to Bowden, Brereton and Wilkinson. It is game on. There is no doubt about that. 30 minutes of football left on this Sunday afternoon, and we'll be back after these few messages to bring you all that action. We can't wait, and I'm sure you can't either.
Up the Mitcham Tigers!
Down the Burners!
Let's go, Panthers!
What a mark! Let's go, doggies!
Tobin Brothers Funerals, serving all supporters in the Eastern Football League since 1934. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Program sponsor.
EFL.org.au is the place to be online for all the latest on the Eastern Football League. Keep up to date by checking out the latest news and feature articles. Have your say in the EFL poll. Check out all the latest EFL videos, and best of all, you can listen back to any EFL radio program at any time. Head to EFL.org.au. The Eastern Football League. Local footy at its best. A new time and a new team, driving you home in 2016. Join a brand new lineup for The Huddle as the gang take a light-hearted look at the Eastern Football League every Friday night. More importantly, the team will reveal the ins and outs for this week's round of matches. The Huddle, 4:30 to 6:30 every Friday evening as you love it local. Never miss out on the latest information on the Eastern Football League through the league's social media channels. Live updates, information and scores through the league's Twitter account.
Up the doggies!
Go, the Bloods!
Great goal, Devils! Can the Vailers!
Tobin Brothers Funerals, serving all supporters in the Eastern Football League since 1934. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Program sponsor.
EFL Saturday Game Day continues. Let's head back and go local for your footy.
Welcome back here to East Burwood. It's 3-quarter time here in the Division 3 preliminary final for 2017, and it's Ringwood with a 19-point lead going into the last change. It's Ringwood 10-15-75, leading Heathmont 8-8-56. Just giving you the goal kickers again. Trent Farmer with 3, and singles 2 each to Bowden, Wilkinson, and singles to 2 each to Brereton, whilst for Heathmont, all single goal kickers, John O'Knudsen, English, Kevin Clark, Davis, Abruzzi, Savoury, Young and Colombo. And it's been a real interesting contest, Tim. You'd almost feel like that Ringwood, even though they control the game by 19 points, they should really be a lot further in front.
Yeah, well, I mean, that second quarter was all about Heathmont, and they clawed their way back. I think that quarter was more of a battle of inches. I mean, Ringwood had a chance to ice that, in my opinion, and make the difference too big at that last kick by Farmer. Put it wide, let Heathmont off the hook. Joel Caldwell's side, they've got to score first to have a chance here in this last quarter.
I reckon it almost seems like I said, I mean, 2 goals, 5 to Ringwood in that quarter, and it probably should have been 5-2. Heathmont 1-4. Really, they didn't take their opportunities, but I agree with Brett Davidson. They wasted a lot of possession in the third quarter. They couldn't hit targets. I think they tried to get a little too cute at times.
Yep.
Rather than playing directly, they tried to go and add the long way home and around the boundary. And when you're playing catch-up football on a big ground like Eastburn, you can't afford to be playing the wings. You've got to go down the middle. They did that in the second quarter. I'll be just interested to see whether they've got the legs to take control of that centre corridor in the last quarter.
Well, Heathmont forwards, we were discussing just off air, that they haven't had anyone really their forwards take a big mark.
No.
Savoury hasn't taken anything. Kevy Clark's done his best, but he hasn't had that great delivery there into the forward line. Particularly, we saw that last opportunity with him and Colombo. They took 1 or 2 moves too many.
Yeah, and look, Colombo went off in that third quarter with that leg injury. He's come back on. I've been watching him move. He's definitely been nobbled a little bit, and he hasn't got that leg speed that they most sorely need. Well, Soupy, can you give us the Choose Tap stats for the match so far? And it's been probably a very interesting day stat-wise.
It has been in the third quarter, a lot more even in terms of the stats. Heathmont won the contested possessions by 3. Ringwood won the uncontested possessions by 4. Ringwood, again, preferring to kick a lot more often with 54 kicks and 15 handballs. Ringwood having 14 inside 50s to 10, and a big stat, 4 marks inside 50 to 0, and it's now at 13 to 5 for the match. So certainly Ringwood's forwards presenting a better target in the side 50.
Boundary side, Tim Fitzsimons.
Yeah, with Ross Newland again here from Ringwood. They came at you hard in that second quarter, but you kind of wrestled the momentum back slightly in that third quarter. Was much change there at half-time?
Oh, we just went away from our core foundation values of pressure around the footy and tackles up. We let them back into the game a little bit, and it's a final. That's what we expected.
Obviously, a lot on the line. What was said there at three-quarter time?
Just go back to what we do well, that tackle pressure, get the ball forward, and then push up on them.
All right, thanks for your time. Good luck.
Thanks, Tim Fitzsimons on the boundary line. And looks like we're just about ready to start the last quarter here for the preliminary final in Division 3 2002. Over to you, Ray Baird, on the boundary.
Yeah, look, Joel Caldwell said he's got faith in his players. He said, we know we can do it. 30 minutes of football to go. He believes that his guys can run the game out better than what Ringwood can, but he said we have to hit the scoreboard early.
Thanks, Ray, and we've got faith in you too. Over to you, Steve White. Take us away.
Thanks, Brash. As the fourth and final term, Ringwood and Heathmont for a spot in the Div 3 Grand Final. Don't leave your radios or your television or computers, whether you're watching or listening. 98.1 Eastern FM or EFL.org.au, streaming around the globe. And here we go. Fourth quarter here at EFL Div 3 final. Is this one handed off now here to Pettigrew, busting through centre for Heathmont. The kick in towards full forward. Plenty of players there. Abras Hayes takes the mark. And right off the centre break, off the first one of the quarter, Heathmont get what they were looking for and a chance for an early goal. Brett Davidson.
A mark inside 50 to a tall. That's exactly what we've been asking for, isn't it? So now he hits this, puts it through, it really makes it game on.
So Abraziz already kicked one in the first quarter. A crucial kick here for Heathmont. The kick is dead straight. It is through the middle. It is 6 points to the Heathmont Jets Footy Club. They are 9-8-62. They close the gap over Ringwood, 10-15-75. Second goal of the afternoon for Abraziz. And we've played 1 minute here in the final term at East Burwood Reserve. Fourth quarter, Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Well, as the coaches said at three-quarter time, he asked for that straight away, a score pretty early. He's got one.
It's crossed down boundary side to Tim Fitzsimons.
Yeah, Heathmont set that up really well in front of the play. They had 5 forwards start about within 30 metres. 3 of them pushed up as soon as the ball was bounced, and then that created the space right in front.
Byard throws the ball off. Naina got the knockdown. The kick was smothered in the middle of the park. Jackson came charging after it. Dispossessed there by Knowles. Good play. Hitting the deck there. Luke Davis for Ringwood. And by asked for it back.
A great tackle there by Naina.
right in the middle of Eastfield Reserve, a sun-drenched Eastfield Reserve, a good crowd out here today, and it is game on. 13 points is the margin. Power over the back, knocked it down. Tommy Rock was there to rove it for Heathmont up towards the half-forward line. Overrunning it there was Savoury. Sindri came in, got the handball away. Knudsen couldn't quite release the football properly. In there was Collier. He got the handball out wide. Here's Kevy Clark. He goes after it. Just somehow got boot to ball, snaps around the body, but he was pushed out wide, and it was a low percentage kicking out of bounds. On the full it goes. Peter Baird offering up the last potato cake. Wonders will never cease as it goes through for a one behind. Bendigo Bank scoreboard 75-62. It's in the back pocket for Ringwood.
Something that didn't amaze though, you didn't offer up that last can you got there.
Well, I know the potato cake's cold. That's why you don't want it as it goes over the boundary line and out of bounds.
2.5 clicks to go here as we go down to Ray Baird.
Don't worry, Tim and I'll just share the sandwich I brought from home.
Comment from the cheap seats.
As Rock, quick handball out now, looking to find Sindri. His handball finds his teammate here in English. Tight angle, snaps off the boot. It was smothered, and we'll have a boundary throw in.
Ray cuts off the crust as well. He's old school.
It's very bread.
Buttered both sides. It's 3 minutes played here.
Let's get serious.
And this one in there by Power. Ball on the deck. No one can get a clean touch. Coming through now here is Rourke trying to get the hands out to English. His opposite number Atwell gets a kick out now here to centre wing, and that's taken by Brereton.
Nice.
Did well to get that out by hand. Here come the Ringwood Footy Club up towards half forward, and a good mark taken there by Sverns for Heathmont. And he goes back and steadies the ship here for the Jets. He's kicking towards the centre of the ground. Plenty of Heathmont players there. One of them is Ryan Young, who's had a good one this afternoon. Kicks in towards
Nice.
Rourke. The only one of two players in the long sleeves here for Heathmont. That kick and a good mark taken there by Colombo. Contested footy. He's two kicks and he sprays that one, but to the rescue comes Knudsen after a horrible kick there from Colombo. Let's go down to Ray Baird.
In his defence, the coach did ask him to go down the corridor.
But he had English out wide on his right side and 30 metres in the clear. That was the option he needed to go to.
Where English was, Dover.
So here's Knudsen dead in front. 55 out, long kick, plenty of players. It's a mongrel kick. The spoil comes from, taken by the Sheriff. He had a warrant out for the footy. He made the arrest. Dead in front.
And he's going to kick that one all week, Steve.
Yeah, absolutely. 2 weeks to be exact. And it's 45 metres out, about 10-degree angle.
And the frustration is this is his second kick for the game, so it's taken that long to bring it out.
Well, it is Victoria, so it'll probably get bail. But in comes Sheriff now.
Oh, dear.
45 metres out. The kick is straight through the middle. The Heathmont Jets close the gap to 7 points, the margin. What a kick there from Sheriff, and a timely goal here for the Heathmont Footy Club. 10-15-75. They trail a 9-8-62 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Two insides, or a few more than two, but they've had two marks inside 50 for 2 goals. Exactly what we spoke about at three-quarter time. They needed to get people to take them. They've done 2 of them. It's now, it certainly is game on now.
Well, 5 minutes have ticked over in this final term. It's a 7-point margin. I can tell you what, in Division 1, Blackburn are going on to take on South Croydon next week. It's not over yet, but it's a 32-point margin, 63-31 as Heathmont dumped the ball forward again. Savoury just quickly he overran it in the end. It bounced wrong and for him. Now it'll be a chance for Ringwood just to steady themselves along the win position. Steve Brown comes out and takes a steady mark. So just need to work things out here. He pops it up in the end. Sparrow, who's been excellent today, created the spoil at the fall of the ball. Davis worked it to his advantage, and he fantastic there. Kicks the ball inside forward 50, getting back and reading the play. Dylan Spurs. Well, that was a good mark because it was a helicopter punt style kick inside 50 and a difficult one to take, and you'll wind up on that familiar left boot and thump it 50 metres, if not more, as Pettigrew was the last man to fly and sees it over the boundary line and out of bounds.
He's been good in the last, this first 5 minutes, Sverns. 2 good marks.
To bring the ball back in. It's across the half-forward line here for Ringwood, hanging on to a 7-point lead at the moment. Ball spills out wide. Walton, first play there for the Jets. Happy to see it over the boundary line and out once again. 98.1 Radio Eastern this afternoon is streaming live around the globe, efl.org.au. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast. This is the game to be at today across the eastern suburbs. Blackburn are going to go through, and Bayswater in the girls are going to be the premiers in 2017 as the kick goes up towards the wing position. Tommy Rourke, hasn't he had some sort of a game? Handball over the top to Sindri. They link up English. English can stop this. English can put this one through. He can't. He pushed it to the left-hand side. It was set up. It was a soda for the big man, but he's pushed it to the left-hand side. And another behind on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. It's one straight kick, the difference, 75 to 69. Ringwood still have the lead.
Heathmont nipping at the heels here of the Redbacks as Cairns brings the footy back into play. Kick out towards the half-back flank. Contested mark. Naina got a hand to it. Ball's on the deck. In come there is Sindri for the Heathmont Footy Club, and he is tackled. Will get a boundary.
Get the sense that Heathmont are playing confidently and Ringwood are second-guessing themselves.
They're just running a little bit harder at the moment, I think, Heathmont.
As Rourke tried to get a hand to the footy. It's picked up here by English. He spears this in towards the half-forward line. A little too much. That's out on the full. And they'll get a free kick on the half-back flank now here for Ringwood. And with 8 minutes played here in the final term, going in short, finding his teammate there in Macklin. And he assesses all options. Not much on offer, so decides to go just a shade up the ground. And taking the mark there is Bowden for Ringwood. So slowing the tempo down here a little are the Redbacks. Only 6 points the margin, 8 minutes gone here, final term. Bowden now kicks this one up towards centre wing. Well, plenty of roof on that one, and a good mark taken there by Power. Contested mark up against Naina, and gained about, 15, 20 metres, and probably about 50 vertically. His Power goes back and takes the kick. It's in short. Davis is there for Heathmont. Almost took it one-handed, took it off the ground, tried to get it out to Pettigrew, and that's going to be a ball up on the 50.
They've gone into their shells a little bit here, Ringwood. They're almost sitting back, trying to defend a lead, where Heathmont are taking the game on and trying to roll the dice a little bit. And Ringwood needs to kick another 2 goals to win this game of footy, I think.
As Naina won the tap down, ball on the deck. Neither team can have at it. Davis is in there as well. He gets tackled. Will have a ball up about 5 metres to the south of where the previous one was. Just inside the 50 arc here for the Ringwood Footy Club. Naina wins the tap down. A quick kick comes out there from Bowden. It's in the direction of Farmer.
Oh, that's a free kick, isn't it?
Appeals for a free kick. There is Sverns was all over Trent Farmer and not given, according to the umpire. And the Ringwood faithful will have a boundary throw in deep in the forward pocket.
He nearly hatched him.
Yeah.
Who was that?
Here comes the boundary throw in. So Jordan took it straight off the throw in. Ball on the deck. Jordan trying to get in there as well. Quick kick from Bowden, and almost taken by Davis, and we'll have another boundary throw in.
Jets were all over him there. Looks like an aircraft carrier.
Preparing that one for 3 weeks.
And you know what? It was so 45 seconds ago.
So the one on the deck and trying to go bust his way through is Collier. And well, as we get deeper into the game, we get deeper into the jokes as well in terms of the bottom of the barrel. But I think I hit the bottom of the barrel a long time ago. Here's Pettigrew now. Goes check side off the kick. Brilliant kick there up towards the half-back flank. As in there is Atwell, lays a pretty strong tackle there for Ringwood. Almost holding the ball. Play continues. Umpire doesn't pay it. Handball out now here to Burmeister. His kick now in towards the centre. And, well, it's only English there for the Jets. He takes the mark. Just 10 metres. And play comes on. And kicking out now towards the opposite side. Here's Spurrell. Will have to take a contested mark. Colombo, brilliant play to backhand that one through to English. And the Jets are away down centre wing. Handball over the top now here to Lockie Sverns. He tips this under towards the direction of Clark. Just a little too short. But Brazizi's going to run into a loose footy. Here's Brazizi for the Jets. He lines up from 45 and he's kicked it. That's a contender for the 5-rate goal of the day. And the scores are level. The Heathmont Jets' 3rd goal of the evening for Abrazizi. It is 10-15-75, 11-9-75. Tim Fitzsimon's boundary side.
That pick up there was just unbelievable, and the Heathmont faithful behind us here are getting up and about. I probably haven't heard a louder roar in the whole final series, I don't reckon.
I'll tell you what though, that was just, there was 3 smart bits of play, and the last one was actually when they went for the mark then at the end, he allowed the ball to go underneath him, to go through him, and Abrazizi picked it up. It was just classic bit of football. That really good football.
Ball back in the middle. It is all square out here. Heathmont, they have the run, don't they? Young goes after it again. And we'll have another bounce 11 minutes into this final term. Exciting game we've got out here for the preliminary final in Division 3 as Young hits the deck. Over the top of him is Lukey Davis, and we'll have another bounce right in the middle here at Eastfield. No advantage to either side. Who's going to get the clearance here? Naina goes up against Power, comes out Sindri. He's had a brilliant game on the right boot, skewed it off the side of the boot. It's a bouncing football. Which way will it go? It sat up there for Collier. He did well. He trapped it, then thumped it down into the back line, but the mark's been taken by Davis. Spins the ball out wide. That was okay. Here's Pettigrew. He's got some space. Sends it up towards the Clark direction. And Kevy takes it. He's just outside 50. It might be too far for him. So he pokes it inside and he finds Tommy Rourke. I tell you what, Tommy Rourke hasn't he stood up this afternoon, and he takes the mark about 40 metres out directly in front, Davo.
He's been great, but I tell you what, at the back, Sparrow, he has been sensational. He has really turned the game for them with his ability to spread the football and be calm under pressure. Been fantastic.
Absolutely.
He's been so hard at it as well.
So Tommy Rourke to put the Heathmont Football Club in front by a goal. He's going to kick a goal or a point. There's no doubt about that. They will be in front. A goal would be handy. A goal would go a long way with sending them into a grand final. He comes in now, and he makes no mistake. It was gun barrel straight. He knew it as soon as it left his boot, and Heathmont lead this game 13 minutes into the final term of the Division 3 preliminary final by one straight kick. They are 81 to 75. Oh, wow. You wouldn't have thought about this after quarter time. Haven't they come? And they are still coming.
The big worry for Ringwood now is you look at the difference in body language between the two teams. Heathmont are up and about, and there's heads dropped now from Ringwood all over the ground.
So in comes the ball up. Naina wins the contest again. Loose footy on that cricket pitch area. Callanan gives the handball back to go forward. The kick out now here finds Jackson here on the centre wing. Stops, props, turns, kicks it in towards half forward. Knutson couldn't get in there for his Farmer. Had got dispossessed and a strong tackle there by Sverns. Here's Knutson again. Snaps around the boot. Good kick. Finds Young. He'll go back and just settle things down now here for the Jets. With plenty of time left. 14 minutes gone here. Final term. Short kick. Finds his teammate there in Cornwall.
They've just got to keep attacking and playing the way that they have for the first half of this quarter.
Cornwall looking for probably Savoury downfield. Thought about the handball from Pettigrew. Sold the dummy. Gives the handball out now here to English. English kick from centre wing in towards centre half forward. Clark in a shoving match. Clark almost taken one-handed there by Burns as the ball comes out now here to Rourke. And Brazizi's in there as well for Heathmont. Oh, he got one up high and he's given the free kick.
Oh, he's got it.
Free kick here for Abraziz. Just inside the 50, and on the tightest of angles, he's going to back himself and have a crack. As well, it could be a costly free kick here for Ringwood.
It was definitely there. It was the second instant in that play. It was probably going to be balled off anyway, but just the late player coming in at knee level has given away the free kick.
This is a tough kick, this one.
Any point is handy.
Abraziz. Already one goal the margin in favour of Heathmont.
He'll bring the house down if he puts this through.
Abraziz, here comes the kick, and it's just to the short side.
Oh, it's out of bounds
to the short side, and it's out on the full.
Oh, the theatre.
Yes.
Will those misses from Trent Farmer in the third term really cost Ringwood now?
That's a very good point. They had a couple of chances there in that third term to ice it.
Could be the same as the boy last night who he hurt him when he missed those goals as well.
Forest Hill. Yeah.
No, the big boy in Port Adelaide.
Oh, correct. Yeah, yes.
Dixon.
Congratulations to the Eagles. You are dealing with a West Coast fan right here. Is this one kicked in towards the half back line? Abraziz is fine. A quick win there by Sparrow. Here comes the hand pass. Ball is on the deck. Kicked out now here towards the centre wing. Trying to take a contested mark. There is Brereton. Brereton off to the races. Takes one bounce. Spears this in towards full forward in the direction of Bowden. And he's taken the mark here for Ringwood. He won the foot race over Regan Davis. And a good passage of play here for Ringwood. Let's cross boundary side.
Yeah, he did really well there. He could have blazed away as soon as he swung around onto his right boot, but he waited till Bowden leaded into the space, and they've got a shot at goal to get the scores back level.
So Paddy Bowden already kicked 2 this afternoon.
Generally a pretty good kick too.
He lines up from 50. almost directly in front. Crucial kick here for the Redbacks. In he comes. The kick is just to the right. And the margin now 5 points in favour of the Ringwood Football Club. They are 10-16-76. They trail 12-9, 81 here on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
17 minutes tick over. Davis plays it to himself, kicks it out to the Aberrees direction. Couldn't quite take the mark at the bottom of the pack there. Rourke was there. Nicely done there by Sparrow. Tried to get the handball out, went after it again. Paddled towards the boundary line and out of bounds she goes. Right in front of the faithful of everyone out here. Everyone's getting amongst it. And why wouldn't you too? Only about 10 or so minutes left in this final term. A 5-point lead to the Heathmont Football Club. They had to beat Scoresby to get into the finals. They did that. They've won 2 games and they're going after it again as the ball goes towards the boundary line and out of bounds. Bayswater have beaten the Waverley Blues in the girls' grand final by 11 points this afternoon. Congratulations to the Bayswater Football Club. A fantastic season they've had. But back here, Collier got dispossessed. He should have probably been pinged there. Umpire said it was okay. They're going to probably throw away the whistle here in these final 10 minutes.
What an effort there from Knudsen.
Fantastic stuff, straight through the legs there of Rourke, going after it. Davis, King was right on his hammer, got the handball away. Here's Atwell. Atwell set sail towards goal. Will Farmer take the mark? He can't. A fantastic spoil one-on-one situation. Dylan Spurns, he gets the pats on the back and out of bounds it goes. It is hectic out here at the moment at East Beld Reserve. Let's cross down boundary side to Raybird.
You spoke about Baldwin going out in straight sets. How big would this be if Ringwood did too, boys?
Comes in now. Jordanoff was in the ruck. He ripped the head off David Knowles, and it'll be a free kick to the Jets in the back pocket to release the football.
Already had one team in this division go out in straight sets in Templestowe, so...
As Knowles kick out towards the half-back flank, and Heathmont just try to slow the pace down. In short, finds Hendricks. Gain of about 5-10 metres inside the arc here for Heathmont. The kick out towards centre wing. Plenty of players there. Contested footy. Rourke's in there for Heathmont. Couldn't win it. Out comes the footy now. Hit to Walton. His kick now in towards half forward. A contest.
Whoa.
Almost won there by Abraziz. One-on-one there with Jordanov. And the footy picked up here by McCann. And he spears this one in towards centre wing. And at Ringwood's turn now to take possession of the footy as they stream players forward. In comes the kick. A high up and under here as in comes Farmer from the back. Can't take the mark. Pushed his man out. Oh, it's a free kick here to Farmer.
Yep, and he got a little nudge too, and it wasn't a necessary nudge that needed to be given.
Regan Davis giving away a free kick. Joel Caldwell not going to be happy with that.
It's a long way out, but a player, if you wanted a player to have a ping from here, Davo, he's your man.
Him or Nick Murphy.
He's kicked 80 for the year. Trent Farmer, this is probably the most important kick he'll have all year now.
So in comes Farmer, 50 out, slight angle, his kick, oh, it's to the left.
Oh, he's just off. He's off today, isn't he?
The margin now 4 points, 10-17-77. They trail Heathmont 12-9-81. Brett Davidson.
He's missed them all to the other side too. That's the first one that he's actually missed to the inside of the post. So
final score out at Jubilee Park today, and it'll be Blackburn taking on South Croydon next week in the preliminary final, 12-10-82 to 5-7-37. The Tigers out in straight sets, and the Burners are going straight through to the prelim. Thank you very much to Davis Harrigan for keeping us up to date right throughout the afternoon. Naina went up in the ruck. He copped one. He's in a bit of trouble as well. Let make sure our boundary riders are on top of that one, where Cairns has been rock solid for Ringwood across the half back line. He takes the mark. Short passes on. Here's Whack. He takes it. Stops, props, looks sideways. There might go down the line here. Elects to do that.
Oh.
A very unorthodox approach to that sort of kick. It comes out now. Colombo got the handball away. Savoury, the handball inboard to English. Who else to have it than to thump it 70 metres into the hot spot, and it bounces looking for Kevy Clark. It might stay alive here, might have, and Kevy had a ping, and Kevy kicked a goal. I think it's gone out of bounds though. Holy dooly, that would have been one of the goals of the year if he had snagged that one. And I tell you what, it was as close as it could possibly get. I thought it was still alive, and I tell you what, well, We've got it on tape, Kevin. You can watch it back. If you'll psych it up today, you'll enjoy that one. But nonetheless, it's a boundary throw-in. It's a 4-point ball game. Heathmont, they have the lead. There's about 25 players, if not more, inside their forward arc. It comes down and hits the deck looking for English. He couldn't quite trap it. Seen over the boundary line, Stephen Burns, right on his hammer.
That kick of English's was so smart. He could see that there was a 2-on-1 situation. He couldn't kick it into that area, put it out of bounds down there. It was very smart.
22 minutes are ticking over here in the final term. Savoury versus Power. A clearing kick there from Ringwood and up and under one. Going after it there was Naina. Couldn't trap it. Got it away, but Brown was there to chop it off for Ringwood. Going after it again. Atwell. What a strong tackle. Jono Knudsen. Fantastic stuff, and we'll have a ball up 70 metres out from the Heathmont goals.
You can't let Brett English get clear run at the ball here. You've got to man him up around these stoppages.
How good's the tackling of Heathmont been in this quarter? Is the coming through there as Knudsen gets the hand pass back here to Pettigrew. Spears this one in towards the forward line. Savoury and Clark are there. Neither can take the mark. Ball on the deck. English. He has a ping. It's going to trouble. It's going to trouble here. That's another goal to Ryan Young. And the Heathmont Jets take a 10-point lead. Oh my goodness, what a game here. And East Burwood Reserve, Heathmont 13-9-87. They lead Ringwood 10-17-77. Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Wow.
I don't want to tell you so, Davo, but how does Brett English get 10 metres clear of the stoppage on his own there? He's the one man that the Ringwood would fear most around those stoppages.
It's the best right foot kick he's ever done, that one.
and it hurts them because all of a sudden he manufactures a goal out of nothing, all because they let him get clear run at the football once again. We called it before the stoppage.
Yep. Abrasuzi's going back now. Spare player in the back half.
English up to 31 disposals for the match, 7 this quarter.
Ball back in the middle. Sorry, Steve. It comes out. Naina went up after it. Atwell was in there as well. Ringwood, they need a one, and they need a quick one. Davis was there to trap it for the Jets across the half back line. It's all about meterage here. Thump it on your boot up towards the Savoury direction. It was kicked away from him, but they still got the numbers of Jets. This way, that way. Nicely done there by Sindri on the left boot, but no, it wasn't really in the end. It was half smothered out towards the boundary line and out of bounds, but they'll be happy to take stoppages. 2 goals Ringwood need to win this game.
They do, and they've fallen into the trap to just go back and go long instead of play on and go long like they did early on in the game.
So 24 minutes played. Powell wins the tap down. Rourke wins the break, kicks it up towards centre half forward. Good mark taken here by Savoury, and he steps and props and looks for the Kevy Clark lead, but he goes in short now here to Knowles, who's 50 out here for Heathmont, and he's going to go back and have a ping as well.
Take your time, son.
Perhaps extend this Heathmont lead. And as we said, 24 minutes have ticked over, well into time on here late in the game.
Give it to English. Oh.
So Knowles in the goal square, jammed with players of either colour.
He can kick the distance, no problem.
Hasn't kicked one so far, but in comes the kick. It's got the travel, maybe just a little short. It pops over. Oh, a socket off the boot. Maybe not by Savoury. Just the minor score. 11 points. Now the margin 13-10. 88 plays 10-17. 77 here on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
They've got to go direct, and that's the way they're going to go. The kick comes out, looking for the Jordan off direction. It fell short. English snapped around the body. Kevin Clark in the front spot. English didn't know where he was kicking it, but he knew it was to advantage. And Kevin Clark in the front spot. He takes the mark, and he'll go back. He's only 30 metres out directly in front, and this could be the sealer. This could send the Jets flying into the grand final next week.
I can't believe that Heathmont are going to win this game after Ringwood's onslaught in that first quarter where they kicked 7 goals in 10 minutes of football. They're going to get beaten here, and all credit to Heathmont because they've never given this away, and this is a win to me much so, probably one of the best wins in the history of their club.
One of the favourite sons. He's kicked 59, make it 60, and Heathmont, they're going through to the grand final next week in Division 3 next Sunday afternoon. Look at the boys get around them. They've come from nowhere. They started off slowly. They had a major deficit. They've clawed their way back, played confident football, and now they find themselves in a very, very handy position. 17-point leaders. Let's cross down to Ray Baird. He's up and about boundary
I want to ask Davo, I'm very surprised that Patrick Bowden early in this quarter did not go down the back line and just take control down there.
Yeah, look, he has been doing it through the game, but hasn't done it this quarter, so, you know, maybe he was hoping to be one of the ones that could help win it for them.
So ball out now, almost taken by Collier. Heathmont get the hands to it. It's loose now on the deck. Plenty of players in there for Ringwood. And we'll get a ball up. 26 minutes played here, final term.
That's been the difference this quarter. English and Rourke on ball. They've both been
English
fantastic.
has been phenomenal.
So ball up towards the Ringwood side of the centre square. Tap one down by Power. Plenty of players in there. One of them is Young. He gets plenty of tackles. Rourke kicks it out to a vacant centre wing. Foot race in there between Cairns and Savoury, as Cairns did well to win that contest, but the footy's still loose on the deck. Here comes, good strong tackle applied there by Blythe, and he's won himself a free kick after he wrapped up Robbie Savoury, and he'll take the kick now. Got to hurry, have Ringwood, and get plenty of players forward. There's no one inside the 50.
25-metre penalty, boys.
25 penalty, thanks, Ray. As in comes the kick, it's in short, looking in the direction there of Jordanov. He takes a good mark here on the half-back flank. Ringwood trying to flood the forward line. In comes the kick from Jordanov in the direction of Farmer. Ball hits the deck. Here's a hand pass. Quick shit there from Brereton, and he's put it through.
Oh, well.
Brereton gets a quick one here for Ringwood.
He's been really good today. That's his third goal. I think he's been a great player for Ringwood this afternoon.
11-17-83. They trail Heathmont 14-10-94 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard here at Heath Burwood Reserve. Wow. Still life left here in the Ringwood Footy Club, but pretty tall mountain to climb. 11 points the margin.
Well, look, there's time left, and I'm not sure if there is. They have to kick one in the next minute.
Clearance is 13-7 this quarter in favour of Heathmont. Inside 50s 12-9.
Well, let's go. The hot football in the middle of the ground. Young took it from Nana, but pokes it up towards the half-forward line. Savoury, he's rock solid on the left boot. Inside forward 50. He was looking for Kevy Clark, but he was beaten to the challenge there by Cairns. Out towards the half-back line. He goes. Ringwood, they've just got to go long up towards the half-forward line. It moves up towards the Steve Brown direction. They're still two kicks from home. Inside forward 50. Brereton's at the back of the pack. Can he keep the ball alive? He does somehow. Paddy Bowden, kick it to Farmer! He's taken the mark. He plays on. Drop punt, go for it. Goal. He snagged it in. It is still game on. Out here at East Burwood Reserve. You would not believe it. It's a 5-point ball game. Once again, we called the game over. 28.5 minutes gone. We're all excited. Let's cross down to Tim Fitzsimons.
That was terrific work. I think it was Brereton there on the boundary, wasn't it, that slapped it back in. He set up that goal. They wouldn't have got it if it wasn't for him.
But I think the mistake was made by Savoury. Savoury's taken a mark in the forward line and has tried to play on and keep the target, go back, kick it long. It was a silly play from Savoury early on.
Oh my God.
29 minutes gone. It will time be the enemy of either team. There's a ball now trying to snap it out. It's English. It's a hot footy. Here's a kick up towards in the direction, but a nice mark taken there by Cornwall.
That is so important.
Was it 15? Probably not, according to the umpire.
Might have even been touched off the boot, the way the ball travelled.
Here's the contest. Nana bursting through his Rourke. A long kick now in towards forward line here for Heathmont. It's a foot race of sorts here between. Trying to put it through, and maybe I
tell you what, that little pretend back nudge there might have saved him there.
Well, Sheriff, the offending player, but boundary throw in, half forward flank now here for Heathmont. Time approaching half an hour here in this final term. Trying to win it there with Sheriff. Comes down here to English. He bombs it in towards the forward line. Here is Savoury up for the mark, and he's taken it.
Oh, that might do it for him.
Robbie Savoury going to go back.
He will suck up 30 to 45 seconds here.
And take this one for Heathmont. 55 out.
And he could roost it.
I'd kick it to Rourke.
Just waste that extra 15 seconds.
Kick it to Rourke.
Here comes Savoury from 55 out.
Pettigrew.
He sends a long one in towards the goal square. Has it got the carry? It's a mark by Clark. And Clark puts an exclamation mark on the afternoon here for Heathmont. And that surely is the game. His third goal of the afternoon. And it's 15-10-100. Lead Ringwood 12-17-89 here at East Burwood Reserve. Cometh the hour, cometh the man, cometh Kevin Clark.
That's why you want the small players to do. Be in that exact position.
Exactly. It's a definition.
That's what he's done. So, tell you what, it's been a cracking game. Even when it was that first quarter, Ringwood played magnificent football to get in front, and it's just been an amazing comeback from Heathmont. They have just not stopped pushing forward the entire time.
Ball back in the middle. It is a 11-point lead to the Heathmont Football Club. Rourke goes after it again. Jeez, he's been fantastic today. He gets wrapped up in a tackle just inside the centre square. There can't be too long left in this clash. Umpire throws the ball aloft. Naina goes up against Power. It's knocked towards the advantage of their agreement. As a siren sounds, it's game over. The Heathmont Football Club, 3 games in a row. They're doing it the hard way where they find themselves in the big dance next Sunday afternoon against the Park Orchards Football Club out here at Eastfield Reserve. They started slowly and they came home like a train. And look at everyone run onto the ground. It's like someone's kicked 100 goals. They are streaming towards the boys. Fantastic scenes out here. Final score 15-10, 100 to Ringwood, 12-17, 89. Ringwood out in straight sets. The major goal kickers on the ground. Well, they all came coming for Heathmont in the end, didn't they? 3 goals to Kirby Clark and the clincher in the end. Aberese, he kicked 3 goals also and 2 goals to Ryan Young. Trent Farmer, well, didn't he do a great job today, but he missed some crucial goals. He kicked 4, 2 each to Bowden, 3 to Brereton, and of course 2 to Wilkinson. But what a performance out here today by the Heathmont Football Club. There's cross down boundary side to Raybeard.
Yeah, I've got Joel down here, boys. Look, Joel, fantastic effort by your guys. You know, things didn't look too good at quarter time, but everything that you asked them today at each of the stoppages, they certainly responded.
Oh, look, the guys are amazing. 6 goals down at quarter time, and you thought that they'd probably run away with it. We played every final, but our guys just kept at it. We stuck to the basics, and yeah, in the end, we just that's an amazing win.
You had some great players there. I have to name 2, Spurrell and English. They were absolutely magnificent.
Yeah, Spuzz has just been amazing, probably in the last 7 weeks. Just probably our best player just about every week, and Brent was just sensational around the contest.
Send him off to enjoy it. Send him up, send him on, Ray. Let him enjoy it.
All right. Catch you later, Joel. Thanks, Joel.
Thank you very much to Ray Baird and Tim Fitzsimon. Down boundary side with Joel Caldwell. We're not going to hold him up for 5 minutes when he wants to give a pat on the back to 22 fantastic contributors to the Heathmont Football Club this afternoon. They've basically been the underdog, Brett Davidson, in every final that they've played coming into this 2017 final series, and they seems like they've relished that.
Well, look, that's the best one they've had. That's just an amazing win. It's rare that in a final when you're 5 goals down and playing poorly, mind you. You know, they were playing poorly. Ringwood were playing well. They had everything going for them. To suddenly come back the way they did, and in that last quarter, they actually ran all over the top of Ringwood, which was really surprising. Ringwood went against their structures, I think. They didn't play on. They didn't get it down there quickly. They slowed the game down, tried to bomb the ball into the forward line. And too many of their good players went out of the game in that last quarter for Ringwood. So very disappointing for them, but what an amazing win for Heathmont. And Park Orchards are going to look on that and say, you know what, we've got a tough contest coming up here, because there's even though they'll start favourites because they've been very, very good, you cannot discount this Heathmont football side at all.
I thought Dylan Sferns in that last quarter was huge.
Yeah, look, they had a number of players that really stood up, and as we said, you know, we named a couple of them in Spurrell and Rourke and English, but you know, they had other boys up forward. Clark, I thought, was good in the last quarter. Aberese, gee whiz, he was good in that last quarter as well, and you know, that's an amazing performance. Amazing performance.
Yeah. It certainly is, ladies and gentlemen. What a magnificent comeback by the Heathmont Football Club. 7 goals, 2 in the last quarter to 2 goals, 2. And they've run out 11-point winners in a pulsating preliminary final here. What a magnificent effort by the Heathmont Football Club. They've come from absolutely nowhere. Let's hear the song. there you have it. A magnificent victory for Heathmont. And the song sung with great verve there.
Great gusto, wasn't it?
Yeah,
And,
it was.
I tell you what, though, there's two sides to it. I was watching the Ringwood boys walk off, and I think
I
they're
reckon
still
they're in shock.
Oh yeah, I don't think they can believe they've actually lost that game of football, and I don't know how they've lost it. At the end of the game, I watched Paddy Bowden, and he walked straight off the. I didn't know where he was going. He walked straight down, sat in the box for, probably 20, 30 seconds, then got up and walked over and saw Joel. I think he needed time to collect his thoughts, and that's a very, very disappointing finish to, when you think about it, Templestowe and Ringwood. If at the start of the final series, nearly everyone was saying that there's a big chance it'll be a Templestowe-Ringwood grand final because of their experience, what they've been through in the past, and their form. And then this young Park Orchards team's come from nowhere and really stamped themselves as grand final,
Premiership favourites now,
Premiership favourites. And then you got this team, this
Never Say Die Heathmont.
This Heathmont team who, as we said, they scraped in, they got in, and gee whiz, you cannot but admire the work that they've done today. And great stuff from Joel and his coaching team, and they should be incredibly proud of their performance today.
Yeah, magnificent effort by Heathmont. They were basically down and out at quarter time. They were down 36 points at quarter time. And Subi, give us some of the stats that matter from Choose Tap.
In that last quarter, Heathmont really started to dominate the clearances with 16-8. They won the contested possessions by 14 and uncontested possessions also by 14. Ringwood only had 7 handballs for the quarter, and when I read out the total kicks and handballs, it's very interesting reading. Ringwood 199 kicks, only 53 handballs for the match. Heathmont 183 kicks and 99 handballs for the match. Heathmont winning the contested possessions for the game by 10, the uncontested possessions by 20. Ringwood with 53 inside 50s to 48. The marks inside 50, 15 to 11 in favour of Ringwood, but in that final quarter it was 5-2 in favour of, or 6-2 rather, in favour of Heathmont, with 4 goals coming from marks inside 50 for the Jets. And the tackle count was Ringwood's all day, but in the end I think English was a huge performer. 25 kicks, 8 disposals, so 33 for the match, and really a 4-quarter contributor for mine.
Thank you, Grant Campbell, with the stats that matter from Choose Tap. Whilst we've only got 10 minutes or so to go, gentlemen, let's have a look at the awards for today for the Tobin Brothers Player of the Day. They get a $50 Coles Myer voucher, and I'll go with you first, Brett Davidson. What about your 3, 2 and 1 this afternoon?
Well, you've caught me on the hop a little bit there.
I'll quickly do mine.
All right, that'd be great.
All right, Grant.
So I gave 1 to Rook, 2 to Sparrow and 3 to English. I thought there was probably about 5 or 6 Heathmont players that could have got the votes, but in the end, English, just his work around the contest was outstanding, so I gave him my 3 votes.
I'll give you mine, Wayne Brasher. I gave 1 vote to Abrazizi. I thought when the game needed to be won, he was the man that set them alight early in that last quarter. He worked hard all day. He was that marking target early, but then he did some of the real hard work. I gave 2 votes to Brent English. I thought he was awesome today, but the man I thought that Heathmont can go and pat on the back and thank for their win today was how hard he worked, how clean he was, and how he took the game on from half-back was Sparrow. I thought he was absolutely fantastic, and a guy that doesn't have the reputation of a guy like Brent English, he was one of the main reasons why Heathmont have gotten over the line.
Well, there aren't too many times when Peter Baird and I think exactly the same, I must admit, but I'll tell you what, I agree with everything he said. Aberezi was tremendous early. I thought he was their only target, and in that last quarter was fantastic. Brent English, look, he just was a workhorse the entire day, and his class came through. But for 3 votes, Jared Spurrell, the entire game, he was, look, they put the ball down in that area so many times early on, and he was the only one that was able to stand up. And then as the game went on, he became the general down that back half.
He took the game on and set him up from half-back with the run as well.
And his disposal was clean, and that was the difference. His clear thinking was good, and I gave him 3 votes as well.
What about you, Stevie?
So 1 vote, Abrazizi. I thought he was outstanding for reasons that people have already touched on. 2 votes to Thomas Rourke, absolute workhorse for Heathmont. He just did all the dirty work and he was outstanding for the Jets. And I gave 3 votes as well to Jared Sparrow. I thought he was just fantastic across the back line for Heathmont. So they're my 3.
Yeah, well, that makes it that Jared Sparrow has been awarded our Tobin Brothers Player of the Day award. He wins a $50 Coles Meyer voucher. He has 11 votes from Brent English with 9 votes. The other thing we've got to work on today is the Trojan Workhorse, $150 Trojan Workhorse Toolkit.
Well, you'd have to nearly give it to English, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
His work around the contest was exceptional. He's a big body. And
he covers the ground, though.
Yeah, and there have been questions about his fitness. Look, he's had a few games off because he's not as fit as what he could be. He's had a few injuries, but I tell you what, today he covered the ground well, and whenever they needed someone to stand up in that central area, he was able to put his body on the line. Thought he was fantastic.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the Trojan Workhorse today, and it was pretty unanimous there. The $150 Trojan Toolkit going to Brent English from the Heathmont Football Club. And, today, just looking at the game myself, really, I think in the overall balance of things that the last 10 minutes of the third quarter, Davo and Pete Baird, where Trent Farmer had 4 shots at goal and missed them, I think that really hurt.
They could have iced the game at that particular point of time. They were 3 goals up at the time.
Yep.
If he kicked 2 of them, they would have gone into 3-quarter time, nearly 5 goals up, and I think that would have deflated Heathmont. As it turns out, Heathmont get a goal right in the last minute of the quarter. They go into 3-quarter time full of momentum, come out and kick the first 2 of the last quarter, and all of a sudden it's game on, and Heathmont believe they can win at that point.
And they were 2 goals that he should have kicked too. That's the other thing. They're not like they were 35 or 40 out on the boundary. There was one of them 20, 25 out on a slight angle. So, it's disappointing. You can't blame a person, but, that was disappointing.
We have a boundary interview here, and Tidden Fitzsimons, it's down to you. It looks like we've got Brent English, and he's been adjudged he wins the Trojan Workhorse kit for today. Take it away, Tim.
Brent, you would have been involved in a lot of great wins over the years. Where does that rank?
Right up there. It was unbelievable. We just don't stop believing. We haven't throughout the whole season, so just keep working hard and doing the right things, and we're just getting the reward for it. So it's good.
You talked about belief there. Was the belief still high at quarter time? You were down by about 40 points there. You must have still been confident to be able to come back like that.
Oh, definitely. We've been challenged all year. Throughout the whole time, so we just knew we just peg them back a little bit and keep working hard and doing the right things that we'll get the reward. So
Brent, it's Brett Davidson here, mate. How are you?
Pretty good now, mate.
Your work with Jared Sparrow, obviously you've worked together at Norwood before, but I thought your work today where you knew where each other were going was absolutely sensational, and his game in that centre-back position was just outstanding, wasn't it?
Oh, he's just been brilliant. He just keeps getting better and better, and I love playing with him, so it shows that, so enjoying it.
And I thought, just your work around the ground, we talked about how well you thought you were around the ground. Today, I know you've had a few injuries during the year, but today, did you find that you kind of worked yourself into the game and you just were able to continue on right through the game?
Oh, definitely. They jumped us early, and we just knew that we just keep working around the stoppages, and that's where we believe we're pretty strong around there and got some really talent. So, we thought we could beat them there, and just had to work harder in those 3 quarters, and we did. So.
Yeah, Brent, it's Peter Baird here, mate. Congratulations on the win.
Thanks,
the thing I was really impressed with today was how you were able to rally the guys around you. As soon as you got a sniff that the game was on, the pressure and the attack on the ball from everybody on the team was relentless.
Yeah, it was brilliant. I think they broke a few tackles in the first quarter, and then it makes a difference when you hold those tackles and that pressure, and that's what finals footy is all about. And we managed to hold those tackles. They spilled out and went our way, so it was very important to hold those.
And how was the team embracing that feeling of going into all these finals as the underdog? From the outside, it looks like the team really relished that opportunity, that there's almost the belief that nobody gives us a chance and we're going to prove everybody wrong.
Yeah, I think we're enjoying that we're going in underdogs and sort of nothing to lose mentality, but it's still finals and you can get knocked out, so the pressure's still there, but we're just responding. We talk about the word grit and just keep working hard.
Well, Brent, I've got to say that right footer is probably the best right footer I've seen you kick in a while in that last quarter. It set Kevy Clark up beautifully for the winner.
I know. Did a couple of right footers, so yeah.
Well, Brent, look, it's been a fantastic win for the Heathmont Football Club this afternoon, and you were instrumental in that win. Go and enjoy the rest of the night with the boys, and we'll see you again next Sunday, suiting up for a grand final.
Look forward to it. Thanks, fellas.
There you have it with Brent English there, the Trojan workhorse player of the day here for us on EFL game day. What a magnificent game he's played. He's been an ornament to. He's really added something to the Heathmont lineup, Davo, since since he's joined the football club.
Yeah, look, sometimes clubs will recruit, some good footballers from top level, but you've got to remember this bloke was a super first division footballer.
He was.
He's played in the first division flag. He was a good footballer in that level. Not just a good footballer, a great footballer that was often tagged, often tried to get out of the game, they couldn't. He's certainly slowed down a bit. He's got a few more injuries, but I tell you what, his value in his ability to think his way around the ground is just cannot be questioned.
Back in 2013, 4 years ago, I did the first top 50 for the EFL.
That's
this
right.
guy was in the top 10 players in the EFL in my list in the top 50. So they've gone out and really smart. They've recruited a guy that was coming towards the end of his ability to play at that top level in Division 1 and brought him down to a club that really was trying to rejuvenate itself. They were looking to go in a new direction, and he's been phenomenal for them. He's shown some of these younger kids the way and really led by example, and he's like a good wine. He's just maturing with age. Now, he knows his limitations. He knows what he can and can't do, and he just goes about and does the best he possibly can with the skill set and the ability that he's got.
I've got some questions. What's going to happen, Ringwood and Templestowe? They've both gone into the last two final series with fairly high hopes. Both of them have dropped out. Templestowe have now gone straight sets for a couple of years in a row, and Ringwood have now lost a couple of crucial finals by small margins when they had the opportunity to win. How much does it affect them when they go in next year?
Oh, it's huge.
It is.
It's absolutely huge. I mean, the same can be said about Forest Hill. I mean, they've had such high expectations on the last. They've lost 2 grand finals now by a combined total of less than 3 goals over the last 2 years. And you go back 4 years, they've lost the grand final in overtime. I mean, it's just so hard to recover from that and get yourself back up again. And I mean,
I suppose the only difference with the Forest Hill issue is that I think Forest Hill in the last 2 years have gone in the complete underdog because Ferntree Gully and Dunbar were the class sides in both situations. I know they've gone in and got a grand final and got close. They haven't got over the line.
But at the start of the year, were they premiership favourites, Forest Hill? I think they were premiership favourites at the start of both seasons.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I just think that you've got someone like Templestowe who certainly have been, and now Ringwood as well.
What an epic game it was out here today. Magnificent performance by the Heathmont Football Club. What scenes it was in the rooms there. But time to start thanking the team that's been part of this epic clash out here, the Division 3 preliminary final. Grant Soupy Campbell, the stats that matter as always. Great job by you today, my friend.
Yeah, brilliant match. I said at the quarter time that Ringwood will wink sods, so I was clearly wrong. Well done, Heathmont.
Fantastic stuff. And, of course, Brett Davidson, he got out of his sick bed today to come up. And if nothing's going to pick you up out of your seat, this game certainly did that.
Oh, look, it was an amazing game. And I was the same as Soupy. We were quarter time, there was no chance that Heathmont will win it. And I've been proved wrong again.
Peter Frosty Baird, Division 3 specialist this year. It was a great game to call, wasn't it, Pete?
Oh, it was awesome. And I reckon that's probably the best win in the history of that Heathmont Football Club watching that today. That's a big call because they've won flags and they've won a flag in overtime. But that win today showed character and intestinal fortitude I've not seen from them before.
The consummate caller and a perfect wingman on any given day, Steve White. A great call by you today, man.
Mate, that was one of the best games I've ever called, and I'm looking forward to next Sunday.
Our boundary riders, Ray Baird and Tim Fitzsimons, you boys enjoyed it down ground level.
Oh, look, I love coming out here, East Burwood, on Division 3 Grand Final. Done the last 3, and I hope I'll get the next one.
Yeah, it was terrific. I think the crowd out there was the best I've seen, the most excited I've seen all final series so far.
And Wayne Brasher, our game day host, you're an absolute gem, my friend.
Thanks very much, BWS, and what a fantastic weekend of football overall.
Thanks to Bruce Press, thanks to Leroy Green. It's been a great performance. We've been on air since 12 o'clock. We'll be back on the huddle at 4:30 on Friday afternoon.